It's not going to be bad, perhaps. It's not going to be a bad action, like a wasted action points, you could say. So yeah, we can have that. We can absolutely have that. And besides, besides that, uh, yeah, on a while I actually did start the YouTube stream. I am amazing. Start the timer then. Thank you very much. It always takes me like 1 minute entirely to set up. I am amazing. How do I do that actually? Like, how does that happen? How is that the consistent thing? Like, I don't really try to tame that. Tame time. Tamed. Wow. Time that in any way it just occurs somehow. And it can happen, I guess. What am I looking at? Let me go with this. Let me go with here plus game dots colon. There we go. I should probably take into consideration that one of my many goals is to also try out TCM. I should Steam.com. What the fuck? Steam.com is not the page that you go to for Steam? What? It's steer.steampowered.com. Who has Steam.com? What the fuck? Amazing. I wasn't expecting that. Let me go with this. Let me paste this here, yeah. Pin. Yes. Manually unpin. Do you want to unpin after manually unpin? Thank you. There we go. I am amazing. I pinned that just to unpin it. I am incredible. I am amazing. There we go. I wanted to hide it, but misclick. Misinput. Can happen, I guess. Besides that, let me open this thing over here. Can you mute? Thank you very much. What a person. What a voice. Can you actually through what? McAfee Total Protection 2026 Antivirus 1 year license, 1 device. Why am I getting McAfee virus protection? What the fuck are you talking about, man? What is actually not your problem but your goal? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Can't happen, I guess. What am I looking for? I love spacing out. Looking at... yeah, I have to open this page. Do you want to mute this? What's up, test. Do we have audio just in case? Yeah, it works. Great enough. Hide for yourself in. Also, wait. Pin? What happened there? Is the pin not set up in the way in which I thought I did? What? I set it up incorrectly. I am amazing. I am amazing. Can happen. Can absolutely happen, I guess. It's part of the experience. Not much to really say. I am like making whistling noise. Can you even hear it? Like, psst. Yeah, you can actually. Amazing. There we go. Everything is supposedly set up. I feel like I am missing something else. Ah, yeah, I have to actually capture them. I am. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Who could have predicted that? There we go. Also, I think that the message is going to pin itself for some reason. No matter what I chose, like, I made sure that it said unpin when stream is finished. Can happen. Like, you know what? Let me refresh this thing. Let me know what's the problem this way. No, okay, there we go. Now it's fine. Amazing. Whatever you want to say, my man. You are so right. Okay, there we go. We shall. No, I still have to capture the. Also, are we lagging? Have we lagged so far? Not so far. Once again, so far, no. But who knows? We could very well. Also, I have to. Do I have? No, I don't have this audio. Why am I? What the fuck is that setting? That's for like listening to it myself. What happens? Ah, amazing. If I activate that, I can listen to myself. Great enough. But it has literally like no. What is it? No delay. So it gets. It does the whole effect of, oh wow, you're listening to yourself with almost no difference. So you end up getting dizzy. Not exactly dizzy, but like the whole silencing gun, you know? That whole thing happening here too. Anyways. What's up, what? What's up with this? Why are you not finding the specific window? What the fuck is up with you? Ah, there we go. There we have it. Open this. Options. Video. Full screen. Off. Performance. What the fuck is... I'm not going to touch any of that. If I change it like this... Are you going to... No. Ah, I have it hidden. Unavoidably, it's not going to work if I have it hidden. I am amazing. Unavoidably. There we go. Okay, it works. The issue is, where do I actually place myself for this game? Where do I go? Like... Let's say that... Over here. Yeah? Okay. That works for me. Anyways... We have the music game. The issue is it's also kinda loud, like, even for me. 30% works? Yeah, 30% works. Okay. Alright, then. Good morning. Today we have I said so yesterday that yeah, we were gonna have something different. I like playing Path of Exile, but at the same time I don't really know. I think that it is the whole sensation of playing what you truly realize you're not so good at ends up being far more difficult to actually do. So we switch onto something far more simpler, simply put, yeah. And in this case, it is this wonderful game. Let me, yeah, I great enough. I haven't actually switched since. Can't I restart? We don't really need to. reopen the game. There is no necessity. There we go. Gravity Westeros. It is amazing. Taking into consideration something, I should probably I should increase a little bit the sound effects. Like, I don't really care about them, but it's not that well. So, welcome, Grespian. I hope you're doing very well. Hope you're having a nice Saturday, I think it is. Like, what is it actually? Yeah, it is still Saturday here at least, so hope you're having a nice day, whichever day it is for you. But yeah, I was saying, I don't want to be playing this thing. I want to showcase it. I don't know if it is a showcase. More than anything else, I want to play this. It's such a great vibe of a game. I don't know, I am sad that people don't know about it really, but it's a reality. The most important thing in itself is it's a great game anyways, so doesn't matter. It could be like, I like Path of Exile. I play it because I like it, not because it is popular, you know, the same sensation here. I play this game because I like it, not because it is unpopular. Same sensation. It is, to some extent, unavoidable. It is quite meaningless to play something if you don't really have the desire to play stuff of that kind in any way, in any manner. So, yeah. That, besides, let me... I am forgetting something. I have that, okay. I might be forgetting something. Okay. I see. Yes. There we go. Okay, everything is ready, I think. So, there we go. But yeah, give me a second. We can just start, basically. I have an upgrade there. I have no clue what it does, but there is an upgrade. Let me... Quick explanation to what we are seeing, I guess. This thing here is the character. You can see the cursor, right? Like... Let me check just in case. Yeah, you can see. This thing over here is the character. This thing over here is an upgrade that is gonna be done into the... When I get into a run, this is the thing that you take to actually start. This is the main hub, quote unquote. And I don't know, anything else that actually matters in terms of, oh wow, what a concept. Yeah, you're like a... These are way too specific terms for an ESL person like me. You're a teeth, basically. This is the teeth, this is the gum of the teeth. Same thing here, like, these are the teeth bones, and this is the gum, which represents the empty health. Besides that, I don't know, not meta, but upgrades that carry throughout, that you get to implement whenever you feel like harvesting some of that stuff, basically. But yeah, point being. I was forgetting something. I am amazing. I am always so amazing, forgetting so many things. Give me a second. There we go. I love how I forget to turn off Steam until it actually happens. Thank God there is nothing to actually worry about that. But it is still so funny to see. Anyways, besides that, do we start with an upgrade? No. What did I get? Like, what was the thing that I had when I started? No clue. I had something, and only God knows what it was. Because something funny, this game, to some extent, loves not having any description whatsoever. Mechanics are, should I focus a little bit? Yeah, you have like wall dashes, you have visually complex, I guess. You will get it as I keep on playing. It will be simpler to say it like that. Like every single thing has a description here, so it's not like, oh wow, what the fuck are you talking about? So yeah, this is diarrhea. Wow. Speed up, but with the negative trait. The negative in this game is rare, so yeah, it's a negative trait. A trail of diarrhea. Wow. And probably, yeah, this is poisonous, not automatically capable of killing you, but it is quite useful to not sit on it for way too long. Like, you can see the tiny skull that appears on me when I sit for a second on that. Anyways, there are so many things going on. Actually, it's such an amazing game. You never understand. That is something that happens with many things. Like, I understand what's going on, but to which extent do we actually need to explain it, stuff in the sense of how many of these things are absolutely impossible to understand, to grasp for somebody who never played it. No, yeah, but it is to some degree the same game that you can see somewhere else. It's the formula is still the same. It only has a handful of variations onto it that makes it then be a little bit more special, quote unquote. But that's my perspective. I am pretty sure there are some handful of stuff. Like, for example, you have the whole mechanic of jumping into things, just like I did. They're like, you can jump and move throughout the rooms like that, but you can also, let me see, here. Amazing. It wasn't here. Such an amazing thing. Let me get an encounter. Encounter is here. You can also jump inside of the battle. You can shoot from within this area. You can also jump. There is a combo mechanic of jumping on enemies particularly, and you need to hit them before you can actually jump on them. Like, you need to deal a certain amount of damage before you can actually jump on them. Yeah, that's the more specific mechanic, yeah. Anything else? I don't know. Many upgrades. I am also sad I cannot really even stay still because I have this fucking pool of diarrhea following me. So but it's a grotesque game, but we like them even if they are like that. The point is, it could be out ponies and it will still be an amazing video game, because what matters is not the visual stuff, it is the whole mechanics aspect of it. Like, you could recolor it to look like, I don't know, an old dungeon scroller, like a real rogue, for example, and it will be still mechanically impeccable, so to speak, and that makes it good enough. So yeah, we're looking for these things. This is the boss room, the big really school boss, which lets you advance to the next area, and star. Symbolism is to some degree basic enough to actually understand the big yellow star. What does it mean? Oh wow, I have no clue. I never in my whole life played a single rogue like. No, it actually does mean that, yeah, indeed, there is an upgrade there hidden. Also, here. You dash onto enemies, and once you have jumped, you can jump on those who are flashing yellow and blue, and you can jump on them 2 times, and after that, you have to return down. Like, you can not jump on them unavoidably, but by doing so, you gain stuff. You gain points, you gain combo. There is that whole mechanic of, here, this is the combo meter, so it also has like a combo meter. It's amazing. It's a fantastic game. But yeah, I don't know. Something when I was thinking about it, it's so sad to think about how many of these games. It's the same thing that I always say. How many of these experiences are out there that nobody ever found about anything? Because it's not, you cannot simply blame the publisher, you cannot blame the creator or whatever, but there is something happening at some layer that made the game not become as popular. Something occurred somewhere along the way that didn't let the game gain all the recognition that it deserved, basically. Also, here are 2 upgrades, and you can see I haven't played the entire game, because those who say unknown, I haven't picked up yet, so I have no clue. I guess I should pick up this Heart of Spades. Yeah. HP up. Chance to dig out a wall when using healing power. Okay. That's what that thing does, basically. So yeah. But yeah, it's, I don't know. I feel like it's unavoidably a great enough game. There is also picture mechanic, I have no clue what that thing in particular does. I just know that it exists. For which purpose, great, because I have no clue. Cannot tell you. Also, there is the whole thing, this thing. I can roll. The rolling, if you roll into yellow bullets, you parry them. So it's also amazing to have that. It's, I don't know, it's a crazy game. It's more about the vibes. At some point, everything will click by itself and you will say, now I hear it. And even if I don't hear it, like, for example, it's like when you ride a bike that you don't even realize that you're actually riding it so well or what's not. Same thing that happens to the player itself. You don't really realize that you have finally got onto everything that the game presents to you. But it happens to the degree to which now you find yourself being capable of doing stuff, simply put. And that is good. But yeah, anyways, before that I was saying, and I don't know, it's something out the whole aspect of something happened at some point in the whole story of who exactly you are not. It's not about blaming anyone, but it's really about, I have no clue why it didn't get any recognition, why nobody knew about this game, not about understanding. You need to grasp the whole concept, the whole palette of things that this game presents, but you can just by saying that at least you got informed of its existence, you played a role in the rest of its life, basically, and that's good enough. It's bad when it gets pictured or yeah, it gains that notion of, it doesn't matter. Even if I knew about its existence, it wouldn't play any role in the rest of my life. Also, here you can heal stuff. I can finally heal the fucking venomous trail behind me. Can I? Yeah, okay, there it is. Sometimes you have to go from one room to another to actually refresh. Also, what is this? Enemies burst sick bullet on that. Sick bullets can be deflected. Okay, and also it has the who recommended the creation of the item, which is pretty good. But yeah, that's everything. I don't think I wanna cure that thing. Yeah, I think I am not forgetting much so far. Point is gameplay. It's both a thing that flows in itself very normally, like very naturally, I will say. It has mechanics that lend themselves to the player in a simple enough manner so that probably every single person will be capable of grasping it rapidly enough. And that is amazing. Also, here you have a special room which transforms you into a completely different entity. And after that, yeah, now it has become like a sort of shoot 'em up. It still has some of the other mechanics, like dodging and whatever. But it also has now the whole aspect of what is it? You're a spaceship. You're a ship of some sort. And you're fighting these other wars with these more adjusted visuals to assemble, basically, yeah, shoot 'em up. More than just a basic roguelike like what it was before. So it's great. I don't know, I like it. Yeah, my point is, I played this game once and I said, wow, what a great game. And after that, my opinion on it never changed. And also I almost died there. I'm amazing. But yeah, I was saying, anyways, trying to continue with what I was trying to explain. And I don't know, there is that whole sensation of games of this sort that suddenly get... There is a reason why they didn't gain any... It's not about the audience particularly, it's just that something happened that didn't make them become known. And whatever it was, ends up being quite a sad thing, because in the end, it is a great game, and it is quite a great experience. As I said, I think it shouldn't be that crazy to think that the whole perspective of if your game becomes that natural to play, that natural to enjoy, then it means that it is something good, basically. It isn't anything negative or whatever, it's the complete opposite, basically. Your game is simple enough to play, that it feels so natural that things flow in themselves. There is no need to actually think about what you're doing and what not. I don't think that there is much to say in that sense of, yeah, this is basic enough. Also, what is this? Likes the whole bottle. The body revolts when agitated. What the fuck are you talking about? Whoever knows. These are all upgrades, basically. Gifts. Parry eager. Enemies have a chance to shoot parry bullets when damaged. Parry nice. Parry nice to meet you again. And parry body. Loves a good yellow bullet. Understandable. And this? Cities, PTs. Wall seeds shoot speed when destroyed. What is a wall seed? This orb over here. I tried to place myself somewhere where I don't block anything. I think I could go over here, because the only thing quote unquote important here is the school, which represents if you are capable of going to the boss, you have to do the green boss before going to the red boss. If you want to, you can actually also skip it, but you risk. I don't really understand why. I was gonna say no, yeah, you risk dying. I don't, not exactly. You can just clear more before actually going to the boss. I guess that's the point. Something like that. Whatever the point is. I'm not going to so far. I guess probably next room I will try to get onto the area so that I can show what happens once you actually get to try to awaken basically the enemy before it actually is ready to be awakened. Because yeah, the bosses, you can come to this room earlier, but if you come here, you're going to encounter that the boss is still sleeping. Basically, it's like I guess the game gives you the possibility of not fighting the boss before you fought the other one, so that you can something aching to probably level up or get ready. Not exactly level up, but yeah, get ready and have better items and whatnot. But the point is that yeah, I guess at this point I hope I explained every single main mechanic, quote unquote, to the best of my capacities at least. So yeah, besides that, I was trying to continue with what I was saying. I don't know, I feel like unavoidably this is one of those many other games that for some reason or another, it doesn't particularly matter which one I will say, yeah, it ended up not being all that acknowledged in any way, and that is quite sad. Because games of this kind are amazing. The whole... yeah. I was in the nature of... I am pretty sure, like, I make something myself, and when people hear about it... What the fuck? Tears up apart with the shoot button. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what does this thing do? Only God knows what the fart button does. Like, fart power does. Whatever it does, I don't care how it is. But yeah, besides that, this thing. Yeah. Anything else? This thing here? I wish I could. You also have this orb. I cannot really touch it here. This tiny orb here with its tiny mouth that moves where I move my mouse, where I move my cursor. That thing can shoot when I press shift. It shoots like that. But the point is, it costs the same energy that you also utilize to heal. So, personally, I do not like it. So I very rarely use it. Like, unless I am doing incredibly well, I try to not use it at all. But yeah, anyways, that's the whole first floor. There are like, how many? 5 or 6 floors, so yeah. There is also an intro. We don't care about intros here. Sorry, and thank you. But yeah, I was saying, or I was trying to say rather, that yeah, I don't know, games of this sort are surprising. Something happened at some point, you can realize this is a challenge in which you literally just have to not get hit. Simple enough. And the whole mechanic is there is no way for you to dodge. Like, you cannot dodge anything of what this guy does if you want to win. But yeah, I was saying, and I don't know, I think thinking about it, you can say probably to some extent the developer might as well have some degree of a responsibility in the whole aspect of why this thing didn't become the most popular creation in the entire universe and whatever. But I don't know, I don't think that it's like an actually solid idea in terms of this is bad to think out in itself. Because what you're doing is just leaving the responsibility of what the thing in itself ends up being to only the creator of it, to some extent. Something that I haven't tried to think out the most is the whole nature of unavoidably. We have so much the capacity to actually make things. I, as a consumer, besides any other title that I might possess, also as a consumer, I do have quite a huge capacity to, in itself, with my own hands, make other things become quote-unquote popular. The whole aspect of by telling my friends that they should buy this product, we start to spread the word, and we start to make sure that others realize and gain awareness about what there might exist out there. All of that not only does exist in itself, but also plays such an important role in the whole spread of whatever it is that we as consumers want to see succeed, that it is surprising to see, yeah, you know what, nobody really had any interest on this becoming bigger. But I don't know, there is one layer that I believe I understand. Sorry. I didn't mean to hit the microphone at all, sorry. Something that I think I understand to some extent a little bit more now is the whole aspect of, yeah, sadly, unavoidably, it's quite hard to actually be willing, be capable of, in itself, making the efforts to bring forward those same things, make other people learn, make other people know, and make other people realize and gain awareness and whatnot about the things that I enjoy myself. The whole, you can say that's the notion of my words can indeed be spread, but to have that happen, I actually, also this is quick explanation, this is the shop basically. I say I should take everything, probably this, yeah. Fire an attack that charms an enemy. Understandable. Ah, this is a companion, I guess? No? It isn't a companion, what the fuck? What is that then? Whatever. Who knows? It's you can always disparage the consumer and say, ah yeah, you didn't care enough for this thing to become successful in the quote-unquote market of attention and whatnot. You didn't play your role well enough to make sure that others also gained some sort of awareness about this thing themselves. So you also have some portion of the responsibility to carry with you. You are, to some extent, also not part of the problem, not because it is a problem, but rather simply enough unavoidably because there is a degree of, you could have perhaps tried something, and to not have tried can be said that it was a bad choice. But in itself, it matters a lot more. The whole aspect of, so sometimes you can try. The floor is lava, don't stand in lava. Damages everyone. Roll or wall around to avoid the damage. Good enough. So, something tells me that I'm actually going to heal this thing. Cure? Need monies. Guys, I don't have healing pills. Amazing. They are not called healing pills, they are literally called mints. Also, we can see the color slowly changes colors. The floor slowly changes colors now, so yeah. It was true that the floor was lava. Oh, yeah. Also, nothing opened. I have a port that makes it so that doors could perhaps open. But nothing opened. Understandable. Okay, there we go. Here. Give me kill this thing, brother. Thank you. I hope it only heals the whole aspect of me getting damaged by that. Otherwise, it will be quite unfun to have it also damage me in the whole process of giving me the quote-unquote benefit of being capable of not dying. But anyways, point being. Okay. It didn't damage me? Did it damage me? Let me see. I have only one heart missing. Now it does damage. Okay, yeah, it doesn't damage me anymore. Good. I was saying that in the whole market of attention and the whole prospect of how we now relate to the consumption of media and whatnot, as a consumer, first and foremost, now you have a lot more responsibility in making sure that the product succeeds. But I don't know, I guess the point of concession that I can give, that I can say proudly enough without feeling like, this is not really the answer, but to say anything else is sort of insulting in a way, because you can realize that that's not the truth. You can say that there are other things that could play the role of the truth, not the thing that you are utilizing right now to talk about the reality of why things are the way they are and whatnot. In this case, in this encounter and whatnot, I feel like unavoidably what happens to some degree is maybe just it wasn't something, the right thing, yes, but at the wrong moment, basically. Sadly, so that defined everything else from this thing, or about this thing, suddenly. What you like so much, let's say like this, for example, if Mozart was born today, it might as well mean that we would never have the possibility to actually see what he created, because nowadays we don't appreciate classical music enough. Like, the classics are to some extent the classics for multiple different reasons indeed, but one of those utterly important reasons also is the fact that indeed they were created in the right time. You cannot expect, let's say like this, you cannot expect people to have an interest in any kind of, as what is this, minimap is less filled out, more cigarette rooms, box holes in your brain. Okay. Also now I stop seeing where I have to go and whatnot. I have to guess. And this is, particularly with the power that I have, is absolutely bad. But we like to play. So yeah. I'm about to die also? No. No, I wasn't. I was just playing around. But yeah, I was saying. And I don't know, you can always talk out the whole aspect of, perhaps this thing could have survived in a different era and whatnot, but it didn't. But at the same time, yeah, everything does belong to some degree to a particular moment in time. Like, you cannot expect people to care about something like what Mozart did nowadays. Even if the music was great, it doesn't instantaneously make it something that every single person wants to listen to. The greatness of the thing in itself doesn't give said thing the spreadness that it deserves, so to speak. Not to begin with anything, I guess you can always talk out the quality of, you're talking about things as if they truly deserve something, and that is already a problem. Sometimes things don't really deserve anything in particular, it just happens that it didn't get lucky enough to gain whatever it was looking for. It happened that it just never got the luck, the luck factor, the eternally present, the overarching, always counting luck factor behind every endeavor of the humans. Perhaps that's the only reason, and sometimes it's hard to say, yeah, indeed, it didn't have the luck that it needed, therefore, because of that, now it failed. Now, it didn't get as great of a result as it could have otherwise, because it was unlucky. And that, I guess it's something that always feels difficult to talk about. So many efforts about the whole aspect of tagging in itself about the nature of, oh yeah, these are the things that I as a person try to make happen, and these are the realities, the worlds and whatnot that I try to create, to bring forward and whatnot myself, by making sure that I am doing something that I want. And logically, it should give me this result. But luck factor now included into the whole formula. If luck enters the formula, it stops being something so logical. How can I actually believe what I'm doing in any capacity if it is so directly involved, directly tied, unavoidably, with luck in itself? Like, I actually need to get that much lucky. How can I actually get that lucky in itself? How can that actually happen? Like, I see what you're telling me, but I don't think it will happen. Like, something tells me that it might as well not occur. Also, shoot multiple bullets and combos. On combo multiples of 5, understandable. And it always is hard to say, yeah, it just didn't have a great enough luck. Really, it doesn't feel great to say that. It doesn't have a good bell to it to say, yeah, the thing that you made, even if it was the most amazing creation, it wasn't lucky at all. That's why now it isn't succeeding. Now it isn't playing in the same field as every other creation of people. And simply because of that, you have been screwed. And simply because of that, you are encountering not the same amount of, in this case, I guess, success, this popularity. The game didn't become as popular simply because, once again, it wasn't famous. It didn't get that recognition. It didn't gain that initial title of, yeah, what a great game and whatnot. And because of all of that, now we are talking about it as if it was truly something impossible to ever see become an even greater game or whatever. And it's, to think about it in itself is horrible. The whole sensation of there is truly nothing that you can do sometimes about the success or not of things. And that's always, I wouldn't say disorienting. Absolutely sad, yes, but not disorienting. You can grasp that there is something that there is nothing rather that you can do about what you want. But if that happens, what can you actually do about the final results, you know? And it feels, it is disheartening to think about that aspect of, no matter what, we are condemned to not see great things come alive, basically. Despite all our interest being in a completely different place, it's not like I didn't want this thing to go well, do well, basically, but it happened that it simply didn't, and that's all that there is to it. Nothing else to really do about that. Destiny has been sealed, so we have to encounter that reality. Also, now, where am I even? Like, I am here. Why are you not showing me the initial room? Like, okay, Drew. I have to find the boss like this. What a great game! Probably, I think I killed the run simply because I chose the only virus. Okay, this game has a division between absolutely good buffs and absolutely negative buffs, or no, mildly good / bad buffs. And in this case, something tells me that this might be a mildly bad buff, you know? Because I don't really know if this is all that great. I don't really know if this is all that good to work with. But yeah, there we have them. Both of them. Hypothermia. It is a virus, basically. When it is glowing, it is a virus. Simply put, like, it gives frozen enemies spew bullets, and enemies freeze the first time they are hard. This thing is also a virus. It has those tiny skulls with it. That's how you know things are viruses or not. And this says here, mercury poisoning. Everyone is sick. Your max HP cannot increase, but everyone's HP is decreased. The virus comes with a downside and a good side to it. The issue always is, if the good side pays well enough, the bad side, some of them actually, like, the one that makes them multiply, for example, that I already picked up. Let me this one. In Duplovis, enemies have a chance to duplicate at the start of each room. That's the virus consideration of the game. That's not really a bad thing in that case, because most enemies, whenever they spawn and then get killed, have an absolutely increased chance to give you buffs. And that is something that you should always be looking forward to, basically. But, for some reason, I guess, it paints it as something bad, probably, if I have to guess, based on the reality of, we don't really want it. Have this ultimately broken thing always with you. It might be necessary for you to try to change what you have. So we will make the debuff side be the enemies duplicating, so that if you consider healing that virus, you might as well not be really healing anything. You're just removing what you gain from the virus itself, basically. But yeah, point was, going back to what I was saying, I don't really know how much I spent actually talking about mechanics, sorry. But yeah, I don't know. Games of this kind always have that, not exactly a title, but the whole reality with them of, yeah, you didn't succeed to some extent because you didn't have the possibility of being known by others. You were unlucky enough, and you didn't exactly exist in the time in which all of that was gonna be a guaranteed success. So that makes you have a bad time no matter what you do. Even if you have an amazing product, basically, you're ensured to have a bad time. And that, at that point, yeah, that's bad. Because that makes things, I guess, to some extent, far more deterministic than what we're actually capable of dealing with sometimes. Too much of, yeah, there is nothing to do. Life is whatever it gets to be and nothing else. And that is always not only sad, but disheartening to think out in terms of, yeah, it is whatever. This is a companion. This makes syringes. Give me more of this thing, which I utilize to heal. I guess this. Because companions are actually absolutely broken. Also shouldn't have picked that up. Can happen. You can misplay sometimes, I guess. If this is a good run, that shouldn't really impact anything. If, once again, this is a good run. Otherwise it isn't, and otherwise I just screwed myself simply because of that decision. Sometimes it can also happen, I guess. Also, yeah, something that I haven't mentioned, rooms can, for some reason, regenerate sometimes. I have played this game for like years, and at this point, I still have no clue why that happens. I wish I had any explanation to actually offer, but yeah, I just know it that it does. Like, enemies respawn for some random motive, but I don't know it yet to say, yeah, this is why. Whichever reason that there is for that to happen, I guess it's fine. It's not bad in itself, so it's fine. But yeah, besides that, sorry, I was trying to say, and I don't know, something out of the whole aspect of you were born at an unlucky time always gets to feel horrible. You don't really want to say, yeah, you know what, this thing didn't go the way in which you wanted it to go, simply because you had a bad RNC basically in your own life. It's something that ruins much of the fun that we get to have living, you know? The whole aspect of, yeah, there is nothing that we could have done to prevent this outcome, basically. That's not just disheartening, that's detrimental to mental health, I could say, in terms of, yeah, you know what? There is nothing that we could have done, there is nothing that we could have tried, there is nothing that could have happened that would have modified the outcome, and we have to live with that for the rest of our lives, knowing that that is the case, by the way. Not, yeah, maybe, but maybe not, so the moment in which we say that it will be the case, we are just determining it to be. but in reality it never truly was. We just said that it was because doing something else was a little bit harder. And sometimes we can live without doing things for what we actually say we like and what not, because taking action is difficult and making sure that things move forward is difficult. And in thinking about that, I was also having in mind the whole aspect or the whole prospect of, I don't know, unavoidably, there is a sad reality that you can see how it could happen that you might get to quote-unquote succeed in the creation of a stuff of this sort. For example, games rely a lot on finding the quote-unquote right audience, so it simply is about making sure that you spread yourself as much as you can in order to increase the, what's the word? The odds of finding said audiences. If you don't make sure that that happens, then indeed you're gonna be shooting yourself in the knee, because people will not know what you did. There will be no one that will have the capacity to say, I did see what you created, I did encounter what you brought forward and whatnot. And that is bad. And that is something that most people, I would guess, don't really want in any way. But that is something that at the same time we're also far more capable of accepting as it is than trying to do in any manner. Also, wait, give me this. Mercury poisoning healed. Thank you very much. Also, here. It was the normal upgrade guy. It's good enough, I guess. What the fuck? I literally just cleared the room, but yeah. I said it before, I have no clue why it happens that sometimes enemies respawn, sometimes they don't. Only God knows why. Frozen army. It has synergies. Wow. Gain a frozen follower. Wow. I didn't know that actually. Wow. Amazing. But I have to cure this thing because it's garbage. It gives you slippery mechanics throughout the whole ground. And that is trash. Complete trash actually, so yeah. I hate it. I despise it the most, basically. But yeah, anyways, I was saying, you can always think about, perhaps we could believe that there is a way to fix things. We could believe that there is a way to make this creation of ours work. But there is a degree. While that notion exists, there is the other layer of the awareness of, but how much time does that actually take? How much of my life I have to actually consume in the creation of that thing, so to speak? How much I have to sacrifice in order to make things happen? And I don't think that it is about the whole aspect of I don't really love what I'm doing, do not commit to it. It's just that, I don't know, man, you're asking way too much from me. My life cannot be one singular thing. I live in a world in which we have heard enough times that indeed it could be quite bad to put all your eggs in one basket, as we tend to say, you know? Why would I try so hard to actually put everything into this one thing? I could find a healthy way to do it. I could. It's not that I don't think that I can, but if I did so, would that actually guarantee that I still see any kind of success in the way in which we are talking about? Would that make sure that what we are trying to describe gets to happen? Because it doesn't seem to have that sensation with it. I don't feel like that's actually the case at all, you know? It could occur that I got to see great things come forward out of my efforts and whatnot, yeah, but it also could occur that not at all. Anything of what I tried would bring anything else forward, and anything of what I tried would give me the possibility of seeing the success occur. And in the development of such a game, you have already spent so much of your own life in creating the thing. Now you also have to give much more of your own existence up in order to, and you know what, you also have to make sure that this thing succeeds. Isn't my creation in itself good enough? For some other people, it works. They don't need to work like that. They don't need to sacrifice anything like that. They don't need to do that whole process of, yeah, you know what? You're actually, also wait, this is hypothermia and hypothermia too. Good enough, good enough. Am I looking for anything else? I think no, it's right. Like, I don't really have anything else to find here. Sadly, I wasn't really that wrong in terms of, yeah, the power that makes my whole existence basically be more miserable simply because I don't have anything to defend myself with. It's quite well. But it's good, I guess. Yeah. I was saying. But yeah, I don't know. It's difficult to accept that part of, yeah, no matter what. You can be a negative person, but it doesn't mean that because you're negative, you can actually have that degree of realism. One thing doesn't mean or equal the other exactly in the way in which one likes to think about it, so to speak, of, yeah, you know what, you have this quality yourself, then that means that you will for sure be capable of dealing with the other stuff in that same way yourself. That's not at all the case. You don't really know. Also, what is this? Something unknown. Something that I don't know. An insight. I have like 4 different followers. I should probably get another one. I don't think so, but I can go heal myself here. I should actually do that because the power that it spawns lasers from the walls is absolutely dangerous. Why? Main mechanic, teeth. You should teeth out of your mouth. But the problem is that those very same teeth can also they can't damage you. They increase throughout the run, and you can very well end up with a run in which you perhaps have 7 teeth coming out of your mouth at the same time whenever you shoot. So it makes the whole aspect of, yeah, you know what? Let's utilize our teeth to destroy things quite dangerous. So yeah, I was saying basically that, and I don't know, the whole aspect of you don't really have to think out, you don't really have to worry about whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that you try to bring forward and what's not, is to some extent it's good, but to some other extent is an unrealistic idea. You should be thinking out what you're doing, and you should be capable of thinking out it in a way in which you can perhaps ensure that what you, in the end, bring forward is great. And it isn't logical, because people love to say, yeah, you're not being rational enough. It's being too cynical to say, yeah, what I am doing will lead to nothing, and what I am creating will reach no one. So, therefore, I have to also think out what I am doing in itself, having in mind the whole notion of, and this thing will work so badly that I have to go to the, not 1 mile, because the expression itself is always, I have to go the extra mile. It's not 1 mile, it's, I have to go dozens of layers ahead and think out how I can make this thing happen, how I can see it occur, how can I procure that it actually succeeds, how can I make sure that this thing by nature will fail, therefore how to make it work without any of those other layers of events existing by default. That is a difficult idea to think about. That is a harsh thing to have in mind in terms of, yeah, you can be realistic and picture your lack of success in that way. I don't think so. People, in most cases, will not think about the stuff in that way, because you're asking them to depart from any possible conception about what they are doing that considers the capacity to do well enough by itself. You need to be prepared in that way of, yeah, you know what, you will, no matter what, fail. Is that realistic for you? I don't talk with somebody and prepare them for failure like what's, for example, the saying that we always have, you should be thinking that whenever you try something, you have guaranteed that at the very least you will not encounter failure, because failure is always in itself guaranteed. The moment in which you do not try, already in that equation you are making it appear. It's not that you are making it appear. You are functioning in the same way as everyone else. You are not having in mind that you know what you are doing, you know what you are trying. This will fail so badly, this will fail so horribly, that unless you can destroy yourself in the whole process, you can finally ensure that you succeed. No, most people don't think about stuff in that way. Most people carry with them that notion of, okay, I made sure that I tried, therefore that means that I will get something out of what I did. You need to depart from that notion, you need to think about it in a different way, and you need to somehow see it in a different light from what everyone else does, so that you can then finally say, well, I found success in some way, in some shape, in some form. And that is disheartening. Like, I don't go throughout the world thinking like that. I don't expect my friends to go throughout the world thinking like that. I don't expect anyone ever to think like that actively, you know? Also, here you have this thing. If I click, like as it says there, mash button, if I click that, the boss wakes up. And I am pretty sure I need to do that, because I don't really have much HP to go towards the mini boss before getting here. It is one room, but that one room is quite bad. Yeah, sorry. I was actually thinking about that. I realized I can hire it, and this floor for some reason took me incredibly long. Not for some reason, I can accept why. It's getting way too big, and it's quite hard to actually navigate everything with the modifier that I chose. My bad. Absolutely my bad. But the challenge is the challenge, and you cannot do the game without a little bit of a spice up, you know? Yeah, give me a second. Thank you, Crispy. Okay, I think that it is. Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to force awake this thing, no matter what. There is no other way. We cannot win probably if it isn't for that, so yeah, I guess we're condemned to live like this. Yes. You know what? We give up here. At least, okay. The reality is bosses themselves are not all that difficult, because in the end they do have a lot of mechanics that make them solvable, so to speak. Like, yeah, they are a quite simple equation. Once you get to understand what is the thing that you have to deal with first, the whole aspect of patterns and whatnot, what is the thing that I should be worrying out first and foremost, and after that everything else becomes a much easier symphony, so to speak. So yeah, sorry, I took a hit somehow. I am so great at this game. I was saying in that, yeah, and I don't know, it's understandable. I don't think that people think out the stuff that, how did I, those hits do like to damage. The importance here is, this guy comes, a little gummy, soft one. I have here something I didn't read what. Take it. I can hit continue and I can leave. The problem is it takes 4 teeth out of the mouth of this thing, which in return buffs every single run. But being honest, I don't really want to die. I don't really want to end it so fast. I don't think we need to die. No? So yeah, anyways, I was saying that, and I don't know, in the end, it always is something strange to think about the whole aspect of, yeah, you know, this is stuff that you are doing, this is stuff that you're working on. It has all the sensation of being absolutely unsolvable within itself. And you have to be prepared always for the worst outcome. I can barely do that in my own life, in things that matter. Now you are telling me that in things that everyone else might talk about as absolutely unimportant, I also have to do the same? Isn't that to some extent unrealistic? Isn't that to some extent too much to expect from me? I don't think I can do that, man. I wish I could do that, but I don't feel like I have the capacity to do that. I cannot be that harsh with my choices, with my decisions and whatever. I can at the very least think of ways in which I could solve possible problems, yes, but I don't feel like I can have in mind all of those other absolutely horrible encounters and stuff that will happen and whatnot, you know? Like, only God knows what will happen if I actually do something like that in terms of me. I feel like I am giving up too many things and I am being overly negative if I act like that. And if I move throughout life in that way only, I don't need to do that. And I'm not talking. I feel like sometimes it's a necessary clarification. I'm not talking about the whole aspect of the average person. I feel like I personally cannot do that. I cannot approach this and see it as, yeah, you know what? I would have a horrible time doing whichever thing I want. Can a normal person who has to live their life now also have in mind, and yeah, you know what? Whatever you're doing, whatever you're trying, whatever you're going for will fail. Unavoidably. So you have to increase the odds of it not failing, actually, because otherwise you will not see anything of what you wanted, and you will not see anything of what you were looking towards and what you were looking forward to. You can only gain success as long as you are making sure that the success that you are harvesting, the success that you are creating, is in itself harvested from the actions that you take. There is no other way in which you will find any kind of success, because success doesn't happen. You only make sure that it... I said created, not exactly just created, but the whole aspect of... You make sure that success is made present in the moment in which you actually interact with things in the right way. Without it, that whole concession of, therefore, that means that there is a right way to interact with the stuff. And perhaps you were doing that wrong before, so you also have to change how you work around everything to some extent, no? Because if you don't do that, you will still fail at what you're trying, and you will still fail at what you made and whatnot. And that is bad. That is unavoidably horrible. That is unavoidably a negative way to think about the world and whatnot. You shouldn't be having in your mind the notion of, yeah, you know what? I am trying something, and what I am trying will lead to nothing. I can only make sure that the success that I am looking forward to is spawned from my actions. And I feel like I started all of this simply because of what I was saying before. How do you try to think about the notion of, okay, what I'm doing might be failing? How do you think about that? In which way do you think about what you are doing as a probable failure? How do you approach the notion of how can I solve what I'm making? Really? Are you that sure that what you are making will for sure never fail otherwise? Like, you're still having such a degree of belief. That's another one of the difficulties with all of that notion, with all of those notions in general. Like, okay, now you say, if what I am doing is failing, it has to do something with me. Truly, do you think that is the case? Isn't that way too much of an incredibly, not even positive, simply a stupid way of thinking that stuff of, yeah, you know what? Tomorrow you wake up an hour early, spend 2 or 3 hours more working, and for sure everything will work now. Unlike before it never got to work. No matter how many days of your life is spent making sure that it works, but tomorrow you wake up 1 hour earlier and now it all works. much better, and it all gets to succeed unlike before, because indeed there was an error, a mistake, or something that you weren't contemplating before. But now you are, so now you know, so now you can fix that. I don't think that is in itself the case. That sounds like an incredibly reductionist view of the whole aspect of what is the destiny that exists in a higher degree of existence, as of, yeah, trying to say sometimes stuff just happens without any input from us, no matter what we want. And that's bad. Yes, that is incredibly bad. But that happens, man. Sometimes that happens. What the fuck? Can you kill this thing from me? Can you not kill me because I am trying to change our rooms? Thank you. Also, now that I'm talking about powers for a second, I have a power that is, every time you heal yourself, increase the odds of opening a door. I haven't opened a door because of that in the last 2 or 3 levels, something tells me. But only God knows, I guess. But yeah, I was saying, you make it sound like, indeed, all your destiny is in your hands. And sometimes it isn't. Not because I'm trying to be an incredibly stupid person that says that, oh no, yeah, you know what? Nothing is in your hands, and nothing can be done about what you want, about what you like and what not. But sometimes it just doesn't happen, man. Sometimes it just doesn't occur that what you were looking towards gets to finally be solved, so to speak, you know? Some days things remain absolutely bad no matter what. And no matter how much you try to, it's not about this struggle. It's the simple nature of you're actually working towards that. Yet that thing still doesn't come. Yet that thing still doesn't happen. Yet that thing doesn't still succeed. It's also lie to say, yeah, success only comes for those who work very hard. Sometimes it doesn't come at all. You can spend every single day of your life trying to work very hard for what you want, but that might still ensure that what you're doing, or that doesn't guarantee success, basically. The whole formula of, yeah, the amount of hours that you're working equals the amount of results that you get, and only in understanding that. But I don't know, I guess the only part that I always feel like exists within that formula is I have to assume there is something that has a little bit to do with the whole aspect of maybe I myself am missing something in regards to perhaps I have to learn better how to approach the question of, okay, how can I actually solve what I'm trying to do? How can I actually solve what I'm trying to work on? How can I actually do what I'm looking forward to, you know? There might be something that I overlooked. There might be something that I ignored. And because of that, I need to then finally do things better and do things more appropriately. But that will only occur as in so long as I can finally understand why am I failing. But at the very same time, I said before, it has something to do with being humble, the whole aspect of, yeah, now you are seeing that indeed you are getting to solve the problems that you encounter in your life simply because you accepted that indeed it is bad. Do not try to work on the problems that you realize might exist, and that it is bad to not work on the things that you realize could affect your performance and whatnot. That is true, that much is true. But as much as that is true, there is this other layer of, but you can also very well make sure that, or not make sure, understand that in whichever way in which you are working could very well be the best way. Knowledge is fraying, but if I gain the knowledge that what I am doing perhaps makes no difference whatsoever, or no matter how much I work intensely on finding the success that I say I am looking forward to so much, if all of that never leads to anything, for such a long amount of time, at some point I will feel like unavoidably everything is just meaningless or unimportant in the eyes of the possible to change shots and whatnot. Like, I can't ever succeed. There is no point in trying anything because there is literally nothing that I can do to make sure that I find success. And once again, I am not saying that the average person can deal with that. I don't feel like the average person can fathom that idea in terms of, yeah, you know what? I have nothing to do over here. I have nothing to actually gain over this world. I have nothing to encounter once I try to live life in the way in which I feel like might be minimally good to me and such. I don't feel like the person, the guy that you see walking down the street is that negative with themselves, because indeed that is negative. Unavoidably and surprisingly, that is an absolutely negative way of thinking about stuff. Most people don't have that happen. Most people don't see the world in that way. Most people, let's imply, they could. They choose not to, actively. Because nobody wants to say, yeah, you know what? Nothing that I do really gives me what I want, sometimes. And the equation then becomes, okay, I learn, and I make sure that I learn the best, to the best of my capacities. But it goes back to what I was mentioning before, the moment in which you also learn that whatever it is that you're trying might as well not give you anything. What do you do then? What is there for you now that you understood that no matter what you try, you will gain nothing? No matter what you look forward to, you will gain nothing. I don't feel like people truly have that sensation within them. People don't really say, yeah, you know what, today I will make sure that my eyes are opened to the truth and I am accustomed to the reality of my incapacity to change anything. People can be negative indeed, but nobody is that negative with themselves, because that is directly only negative. There is not much more to add in that sense of, yeah, you might be a different personality, you might be someone who thinks about the world in a different way. It is only negative to say that, and it is impossible to correct that. And that is the issue with, yeah, this thing failed. But can there truly be anything that could be done about the failure of this thing? I don't feel like that is the case. Sometimes that just doesn't get to happen. And sadly, that is something I guess hard to live with. How can you say, and this thing didn't reach the best place possible, and that's everything that we have to say for today, good night? What? What's the message behind that? What's the point behind such a belief? What's the nature of things if you're that prone to giving up, you know? Why are we trying anything if we're going to abandon all of our efforts that rapidly, that quote-unquote efficiently, you know? All of that seems bad, and all of that seems absolutely despicable to somebody who tries to not live such a dark existence, such a dark way of approximating, of approaching, of dealing with the world and whatnot, you know? Yet here it all sounds like, yeah, you know what? You yourself will have that bad time no matter what. I don't think so. It doesn't have to be that way. But to find a more working formula, yes, yeah, is hard. Because in the end, that also has a lot to do with, I don't really know if sometimes I can actually see how things could then finally not be unoperative anymore. Can I actually make sure that things go well this time around? Can I actually make sure that this is what works? It's the human efforts and the desire to make stuff work this time for sure, so to speak, you know? The whole aspect of this time perhaps things finally go our way. This time perhaps things finally get to not be something that hinders us. That is always out there, and that is always dormant within the head of oneself even. I don't want to say that, yeah, there is nothing to actually change, there is nothing to actually work on, there is nothing to improve on. What? That's bad. That's always bad. And yet, we see it as such a normal thing to say, to do, to think about, to act upon. And I don't know, it is, to one degree, to some degree, it is amazing indeed, but to some other whatever, it is bad to be that willing to see the world in those lights, basically. Sometimes it also, I will say, is necessary to have some degree of hopefulness, even if that hopefulness is completely absurd, even if that hopefulness means that you're believing in something that could be entirely unachievable. And I don't know, it, as much as what I said before applied to a different realm, you could very well place the same thing here in terms of, who knows, perhaps you can say that the thing happens for most people when they try to be out there and when they try to hope for something of that sort, and they encounter that there is just nothing that they can do. I cannot be that hopeful. I cannot tell myself that things are going to go well this time around. I have already tried so many other things. I can be delusional in a negative way. We have gotten accustomed to being delusional in that way ourselves already enough times. But now you also want me to be delusional in this completely opposite manner, in this completely different light, in which I have to think about life as something that stops being annoying to me, for my purposes and whatnot. I don't think I can agree with you, and I don't think I can say that what you're proposing is acceptable, you know? And that happens, and that is difficult to deal with, I feel like, unavoidably. And that is part of the nature that we encounter out there in terms of, yeah, it just is what happens. And that just is what can be seen, what can be experienced. But in the end, what else do we have if not that, then? Yeah, you know what, this time around, everything that we tried worked to no avail for us. That is bad too. Sometimes one has to believe in impossibilities without acknowledging the aspect that they are indeed impossible. Because to believe at all is better than to not have any faith in anything whatsoever. To believe at all is much better than to not understand the necessity of doing so. Otherwise, indeed, the person harms their efforts, hurts the things that they are trying to bring forward, and all of that is detrimental. When it doesn't need to be, that's the point. It doesn't need to be like that. But we settle down so rapidly, so easily, so acceptant of that nature of things, without any other thought behind that. But yeah, it's still a crazy world, I guess. And most of it is surprising in nature. It's just that, in the end, it always is surprising to see that why I started this whole conversation. I don't know, this thing didn't get to be the most popular one. For some reason it didn't. And I fear thinking about it in a more proper way, I guess. But whichever reason there was for this to not be the best, it indeed happened. To the extent to which it did. Now we have to just live with that, I guess. Now we are just in the world in which that happened. And now we are bound to see that just continue being the case, simple enough. Even if it didn't need to be the case at all. No. Also, I died. I'm amazing. I died literally at the very end of the boss. The cavities form deeper, darker fissures. Only God knows what that means, I guess. Let's see. Do I have anything to actually unlock? I don't have any. Yeah, I don't have anything to give here. That could be a meta upgrade, sadly. So the only thing I think I'm not going to have this mode This is way too hard to deal with, sadly. I wish I could, but it's impossible to solve that. It makes... No, okay, no. The issue is not the deck mode. The issue is the other upgrade that makes you incapable of seeing the minimap. I get accustomed to picking that up, but I shouldn't pick that up. But yeah, anyways, let me drink something before I actually pass out. Probably, no, let me see. Let me drink, yeah. Okay, I think we can do like one more floor, and after that I will have to take a break, probably. For sure, yes. But yeah, we're good. Also, I didn't show this. I'm playing with the literally most basic character, the premolar. There are denture, incisor. I love not knowing English. I am amazing. I am amazing at pronouncing those names. Urbigami. This one is good actually. And Spidergami. What the fuck? The fuck are those shots? What? They spawn eyes? What the fuck are those things? I guess we're gonna play with this. I never played with different things before, besides these ones. Also, we lost how many? 153 bits. Bits rate? It's not bits. Bit rate, yeah. But it is whatever. I was saying, basically, that I don't know. My real point still was, the theme is amazing, and I feel sad that I didn't get to reach even greater audiences. It's always depressing to see stuff of that sort happen, because there are so many beautiful creations of that very same sort out there. It always, that's why I keep talking about that, it always makes you wonder, why did that actually happen? Why? Which reason is there particularly? Can we find any understandable enough explanation for this, or it literally was just the whole aspect of, yeah, you know what? This thing just didn't happen. There is no way of solving the equation. There is no way in which we can say that this could perhaps not have occurred, basically. It seems to just be the fate for us, and it just seems to be what had to happen, basically. And that is too negative. That is incredibly negative. I don't think it is that surprising to say that it is negative. But yeah, I feel like it is great enough. My point is, it is a beautiful game, and I like it a lot. I'm happy that I got to play it. I wasn't expecting to remember it. Something about seeing so much of this world and seeing so many things out there that, to some extent, lead you to forgetting out of the stuff in itself that you have seen already. Because in the end, most of living has to deal with the whole aspect of, you have already also seen so much, you have already seen so many other different things, you don't really know what's coming next, basically. And sometimes what you see next after having lived for so long might as well be unavoidably far more, not exactly enticing, but capable enough of catching your attention to the degree to which now you feel like what you saw before has become something far more forgettable. And yeah, this game, at the very least, I can say it was beautiful enough to not have that happen to it. It is a great experience, and I'm happy for that. It wasn't something that just went by. The whole aspect of so many games that, in the end, I know I played them, but besides that, I don't really know what else actually happened. Like, I did play stuff, but can I actually give you a rundown about what I played? Can I give you a rundown about what was the point of what I played? I don't think so. I cannot really give you any word or any explanation about what happened. I just know I did some things sometimes. but there is nothing else to really add to that in terms of, yeah, it just occurred that it happened and that's it. But no, in this case, I do feel like, luckily enough, that's not the case. It's an amazing thing to see that this was a memorable enough experience. I played this game some years ago, and I remember thinking about it on the same line of what I am mentioning today. I hoped for it to become something bigger, but sadly it didn't happen, and that's always something weird to think about in terms of you have such a high degree of hope for what you see out there, but when you encounter that indeed, that leads to nothing. That has a weird sensation to it, man. That has such a weird sensation to it. How do you truly say that what you saw led to nothing? Because this isn't a bad game. I am incredibly happy for it. It's amazing. Like, we end up literally just going back to what I was talking about before. There is no way to properly explain anything of that sort. It just happens that that is the case. But even if that is the case in itself, that simple explanation isn't enough for me, man. There should be something else. There should be a way in which we can say, yeah, but besides this being the case, this is also why things are the way they are. This is also why we see what we see today. And I don't know, I have one thing, sorry. I feel like it's always unfair to say, on the same line of what I mentioned before, of, perhaps you think about it in this manner of, okay, today we can analyze that there could have been different actions taken in order to see a different result, basically. Perhaps that is the case, but isn't that unfair? If the world will be entirely different if somebody did one thing in some one way differently, unavoidably. That is also the case here. And surprisingly, everything gets to be much different the moment in which somebody actually changes the way in which they interact with the world, basically enough. And now you're telling me that that is something to be surprised about, because what? It's happening to a video game? It's happening to this thing that you didn't see flourish the way in which you wanted, or something like that? Good night, have a wonderful night, Crispin. Hope you can rest well. And I don't know, I have to accept. Sorry for saying it as if, no, yeah, you have to buy it. If you don't feel like buying it, it's not a necessity. Someday somebody else will. So, thank you for enjoying this, at least. Thank you for that much. Yes, that was great enough. So, yeah, hope you have a good night yourself, Crispin. Thank you. So, what the fuck is this? Literally first time I see this. What are you? What the fuck? Huh? Are you? Okay. I have to literally dash into it. I see. The mechanic. I get it. I flow with the mechanic, basically. Oh my god! It's way too difficult, actually. I am dead. Wait. Fuck. Missed my chance. Oh my god. But give me the bullets close to me. Okay, there we go. What is this, boss? This is literally the first time I encountered that thing. E2C new tooltip. Start enemies have started to populate the body. They are protected by a layer of hardened calcium. They can only be damaged by deflected bullets. Understandable. Understandable, I see. Indeed. Indeed. Absolutely indeed. Doesn't make it any simpler to actually navigate, right? I see, I guess. Also, I wonder actually how things will change the moment in which I get to finally gain teeth. with this character because unavoidably it doesn't shoot it normally, so only God knows what will happen. Here, what I was looking for? This thing, I guess? What is this blade? Maw breaker. Ah, it's one of those chewy gums. Not, absolutely not chewy gums. Absolutely not. What the fuck? What are you? What? It moves every single time I shoot at that. Ah, and it increases its speed, basically. I see, I see. It's like, I don't even know if I have seen in Isaac something like that. I was gonna do the easy, quick comparison to Isaac, but I am pretty sure I haven't seen something like that. Beautiful, you block my shots also? You're amazing, man. You're amazing. You don't hinder me at all. A kiss, no cure on pickup, get gifts. Or get mono. Mono makes you slower. Sometimes HP pickups don't work. I got the mono, I guess. Amazing. Amazing. I love this game. What a... You don't need to play something like Path of Exile to fucking gamble like that. Amazing. Yeah. Anyways, no, we don't have every single room left to discover besides the boss room. There are still a handful of them to discover. I was trying to go for that. I was trying to go for special rooms to discover, basically, yeah. I said to go for that. What the fuck is that, Aurora? Great question. Also, perhaps I didn't explain that probably. I should have done so. Let me see. These purple border rooms are special rooms. And those are things that probably contain something special compared to the normal room, basically. It isn't really just a reward. Sometimes it is a reward, sometimes it is a challenge, sometimes it is something that you can do nothing about because it is a mechanic that has remained unexplained throughout the game so far. But yeah, everything seems to have... those rooms are basically worth exploring, simply put. And yeah, I like exploring them, unavoidably. So yeah, here we have the first boss. And besides that, anything else? I don't know. I was simply saying that, yeah, I don't know. I like thinking still out that whole aspect of... And who knows what could actually happen if we finally go to one day to have a game that did everything well. I love the idea of saying, yeah, perhaps if I did this, I guess it has a lot to do with literally everything else in terms of, yeah. Unavoidably, I would defend a lot that maybe you can fix what leads to the outcomes that you get, the moment in which you can realize what produces those very same outcomes that you're also trying to obtain, besides the most basic layer of them, no? But it is quite impossible to actually sometimes think out that in a realistic manner. Who knows what can actually give me what I want? Black holums create black holes on there. What is a holum, brother? Is this a holum? Yeah, that is a holum actually. And only God knows what a black hole does. Whatever. Fill my gums, please. Shut up, man. What the fuck was that comment? That was so incredibly innuendo-like. Besides that, okay, we should go this way, and that way, and here, okay, yeah. We have a pathway. Also, no, wait a second. Give me a minute, I actually need to take a break, yeah. I was starting to feel it, but if I keep going, it might not end well, so yeah, give me a second. I need to take a break. Give me half a minute or so. No, give me like 2 minutes probably. Yes, thank you very much. Uh, I was. Why did I go silent? I was setting up this scene just for you so that you can understand that I'm BRB. So yeah, see you in the next amount of time between 0 and infinite. So yeah, infinite plus 1. Bye. See you. Good morning. I am back. I was trying to say, there is something that I have trying to avoid. Not exactly because I don't think it is good, but rather because it is. I feel like it's always way too harsh to talk about something of that sort, you know? It's. Yeah, you know, if you. What I am even trying to talk about. Continuing with the same rant of why did this thing not find all the success that it deserved? You can always introduce to the formula a part that has a lot to do with maybe in in softer terms you can utilize many more, I guess, uh, euphemisms. So I will say personally, I will say euphemisms. Really, I don't think that they replace what it really is. They don't really. What is no? What was that? Pull your teeth out, get stronger. Less HP equals more power. What? 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 How? What? How do I even utilize that? Only God knows, I guess. What? Whatever. I was saying then that in the same line of, yeah, you know what? You have these things that happened outside of your control entirely. And these things that you could do nothing about, basically. And I don't know, man. It doesn't really feel correct to say, yeah, you know what? There is nothing that we can. You're sick again. Cure this. No! Your disease is a return. Amazing. So I have mono again. Amazing. No. It wasn't a disease, but what happens if I remove this thing? I can remove this thing, right? Like, getting hard will duplicate present enemies, gain up to plus 35 shotgun shots after getting hit. Understandable. Get rid of the keys, man. Infected retainer, the walls are sick. Welders attack up. Not your retainer. I get the reference. Also, thank you, Tommy, for lurking. I hope you're having a very good night. And I see what those things do. Wait, do they always shoot? Only when I pass over them? Yeah, okay. I see. I can adapt to that much, I guess. Anyways, I was saying, there is a whole aspect always to the whole degree of, there is something that you can do. But I feel like it is the most tortuous way to think about anything of that sort. That is also at the very same time why, to some degree, I try to keep it silent in terms of, I don't know, man. I feel like it is negative to be that willing to push yourself. It's not forward, just towards the edge, towards the limit of, let's see how much I can actually endure before I find within myself the desire to not continue doing anymore what I like. Let's see how much I can burn the flame of what I actually love before it actually becomes yet another one of those things that I have an absolutely horrible time doing, that I have an absolutely disgusting time encountering, and that whenever somebody brings that up, I feel disgusted by it. But within that whole realm, there is always because I was saying, the whole aspect of, maybe you can say that there is something related to, perhaps there could have been things that could have been done, perhaps, so that this thing worked actually, perhaps, as in with huge quotation marks, perhaps there was something that could have been done so that this could have been changed, maybe, hopefully enough, so that it doesn't actually ends up being real, that there truly was nothing, you know? So, in that same line of thought, thinking about many things, because, well, in the grand scheme of things, we are not talking about anything in particular, we are still within the base of the game, no? So, within that, I have to assume that there is something related to the whole aspect of, maybe, something related to the whole aspect of publicity. I do understand that in terms of a notion that does exist within itself. You know, when you talk about what gets created, what gets done, and what not, there is a recurrent factor always existent within the part of the artist and whatnot. The whole notion of, you know what happens? Suddenly, the artist has an incredibly bad time making sure that other people know what they are doing, simply put. And that comes by the ass of, simply put, because suddenly the person cannot truly grasp the necessity to which they need to push for the discovery of what they are creating and for the encounter with what they are making. I killed myself, I am amazing. I am amazing. But yeah, I was saying. Also, oh wait, I am meant to retry. It's all good. We can retry. I was saying, basically, you can always see that, and you can always, suddenly, it's the cheap option. It's the cheap, yeah, you know what? You suddenly did the same thing that everyone else did. But I don't know, I feel like whenever you talk about that, there is the going back to what I was saying before, in terms of, sometimes I can see what the problem is, sometimes I cannot at all understand what the problem actually is. And that makes this solution to encounter with the possible outcome that stops being harmful to my efforts far more difficult to actually reach. Okay, in that same realm, in that same land, there exists the reality of, I don't know, my man. I feel like unavoidably, I have no way of knowing sometimes what can actually give me what I want, what can actually give me what I need. Because there is something, I feel like it is to some extent a lie, the whole aspect of, yeah, you learn marketing and the art that you create becomes far more capable of being observed by everyone else. That is something that you can, I don't know, sell to somebody who has lived a very limited amount of time. But the more you grow up, the more you can basically convince yourself that it is absolutely meaningless sometimes to try so much of the stuff that others try to recommend to you. Like, truly, do you truly believe that this will be the change that I need? This will be the thing that actually makes everything before didn't let my creation work. But now you are telling me that this one minor change in alignment will bring forward a completely different outcome. You truly want me to believe that. You truly are telling me that that is going to be the case. You are absolutely sure that that is going to be the case. Are you willing to bet on that? And I feel like in that promise, a lot of times, you just end up burning out the person who is, once again, trying to create anything. The whole process of, yeah, you know what, you have tried, but you didn't try in the correct direction, so unavoidably that was the problem. Unavoidably that was the situation that was causing negative outcomes to the thing that you were trying in itself, That was the problem, nothing else. No other thing was what was wrong, basically. And if you can change that, you will find something much better. But leave a nasty mouth when jumping mouth sucks in nearby enemies. Does it still? No, doesn't matter. Whatever is a mouth, like, I cannot even see it here. Ah, that's the nice. Do you wanna bite? You don't wanna bite, I guess. It's all fine, whatever. I was saying, basically. But yeah, the whole aspect of, I don't know, I feel like, to some extent, it's a beautiful lie. I want to blame something. I can blame myself with far more efficacy than any other thing, any other person, any other subject. The other route always, end up being, I can blame the world entirely for my problems, and I can blame the world itself for the things that didn't go my way. And by doing so, I also ensure that my mistakes get to remain, while all the other bad things don't. On one hand, on the other, there is a huge degree of, I don't know, my man, I feel like unavoidably, it's absolutely pointless to do something of that sort. So many of the things that try to be done in order to achieve that very same degree of, yeah, it's success. Even if you try to utilize a different name for the sake of an euphemism, it is still success, what you're looking forward the most. And when that happens, you make sure that I burn my flame out in order to try and make sure that this happens, basically, no? And why do you have so much text? Shut up, brother. We're not here to read any story. Goodbye. It could work, but what if it doesn't work? What if you burn out yourself in the possibility of trying to make what you created work? In the subject of, yeah, you know what? By making these changes in alignment, by making these tiny corrections in your view of the creation that you had and whatnot, it will finally work out. What if it doesn't? What happens to the person then? What do you promise somebody who is trying so incredibly hard for what they love and they still see nothing work? What do you tell somebody who made sure to follow all the steps that you gave them? What's the narrative that comes after that? Because to some extent, it all feels like unavoidably, yeah, you know what? Shouldn't matter. You changed this one thing, now you finally will encounter what you were looking forward to for so long. When sometimes no matter how hard one tries, that's, once again, that's the issue. Sometimes, no matter how hard one is willing to work for the sake of achieving great, beautiful things, tries, it still doesn't happen. And it still doesn't get to come through, sadly. And it's good to have the possibility of saying, maybe, with these changes, with these additions, with these modifications to my creation and such, now it could all work out. Perhaps, but maybe not. And that's the problem. Because, once again, the formula still is, you have to put all your eggs in multiple baskets. You're asking me then to not do that, to change the way in which I interact with the whole world in order to satisfy your necessity to prove me wrong, to satisfy your necessity to see me achieve the success that you're promising me. It's not even guaranteed. You're just telling me that it might as well come forward, perhaps. And you want me to trust in you so much to the degree to which I have to sacrifice myself, to such a degree to which I might encounter that I have entirely given up on so many aspects of myself. Truly, you are sure that that is what we want to see happen. That is what we are needing in these cases. That is what we are truly looking forward to in these cases and such. I feel like you're missing the point, and I feel like if I do actually follow you, I might not gain anything, and I don't feel like it is that crazy to say so. It's easier for me to remain in my place, easier for me to remain in what I already know than to give up on so much for the sake of what? Satisfying this unknown person that tells me, you know what, you should have tried this entirely different approach, you should have given it an opportunity. Who are we to believe that that is the case? Who are we to believe that that is what actually happens? It's the egoism of telling others, you know what, today the things that you're looking forward to will work out only if you trust me. And it is so much of life, it is indeed based on trusting others, but in so many other cases, we ignore entirely what happened with the other person. We ignore entirely what was the plethora of efforts that I already made to make something like this work. I have no clue. I can say it easily because I have no clue. How much did this developer actually try to make this beautiful game work, man? I do not need it. I don't want to think about that. What if I am actually wrong and they made sure that everything that they could do was done and they still didn't encounter success after all of that? What's of me and what's of my opinion after all of that? What's of me and my view after they finally show me that they did everything that was possible and still found no success? It's the world in itself is disheartening, but sometimes I do not want to look at any of those things because it is easier for me to live in my own fantasy and say, you know what, you are still the problem. Same thing that I said before of, you know what, perhaps the problem was the developer. I have no clue, brother. I have absolutely no clue. I don't exactly wish for that to be the case, but it will be much better if that was indeed the case, because if it wasn't, what will be of me? But I don't know, something about simply trying so much and making sure that things can at some point lead to what we want and lead to what we're looking forward to. And the whole layer of, it's sad to say that it didn't get to be something far more popular, but at the very least I can offer you something like this. I can try to show you something like this, and tomorrow you wake up and say, wow, this was perhaps a good game. Perhaps it's worth for me to try. It's worth for me to give it a go and see if when I am playing it I have a nice encounter with what this game offers, or if it was all wrong indeed and I would always hate this no matter what. But who knows? Let me hydrate. It's just that, so much of life is, it's spent around all of that. Much of existence is spent around that very some notion of, yeah, you know what? Perhaps if you did things differently, the outcome would have also been different. I don't know. Sometimes, sadly, that doesn't happen. Sadly, that doesn't get to come through. Sometimes things are what they are no matter what. But I don't know. Dreamer, keep on dreaming. Dreamer, keep on having in your mind that things tomorrow might be better. Tomorrow, it will be a brighter day. Even if today, everything that you wanted failed. Even if today, everything that you tried led to nothing that you actually desired. Give it a try. It won't be that bad. It's... But yeah, it's... My point still stands. This is a beautiful game. I am absolutely happy. The game in itself is wonderful. The problem is every other part of it. Like, why isn't it more popular? What happened? What happened? What went wrong? What changed? Also, speed up or reload up? Amazing. What didn't go right? Oh no, it's exactly what it is. Just sometimes things don't go the way we want them, even if everything is given for them to go right. Even if everything that we wanted, we made sure to create was present. The moment of the creation of those things themselves. Even then, sometimes things don't give us exactly what we are looking for. Even then, the world is a surprising place full of uncontrollable forces. Even then, this universe has so much to it that we will never be capable of understanding, no matter what. That is the worst part of that. The worst part of everything to some extent of yeah. Maybe tomorrow I wake up and I tell myself that I was the problem and that solves everything. But sometimes that's not the case at all, and that's worse to think about than the opposite. Also wait. So who skills? My challenge. Those all bullets. On something? I think I can do it. Ready? Yes. Also, why was I randomly shooting? Oh my god. Let me for a second logging. Also, I guess in case you didn't get it, this boss is a reference to what's the name? The Enter the Gungeon boss. No, not boss. I think it's fuck. Failed. The main normal character, literally. But yeah, that's the explanation for that, I guess. I was saying anyways. Oh my god, I'm so close to dying. I'm so incredibly close to dying. The game has gotten incredibly more difficult compared to what I played myself. But it's better that way, I guess. Nothing better than a little bit, a handful of a challenge or something like that. Even if I die, you can continue trying. The first run, even I died literally on the first boss. That was absolutely a skillish moment. Excuse me, and my inability to play well enough. But we will do it right enough at some point. Yes. And when we do so, we will all rejoice in the encounter with the great place, finally. And when that happens, we will all be glad, because it finally occurred. Here comes the encounter with the... What is it? The... Bullet Heaven. No, the Bullet Hell, not Bullet Heaven. Bullet Hell boss. fucking bot chose the best fucking time to send a spam message. Amazing. Let me lock the fuck in so that I can actually win. Because I do not want to die here. I'm not going to die, but I do not want also to remain eternally incapable of winning any one challenge whatsoever. I think last time actually I took like a random hit for no reason whatsoever. Like absolutely unnecessarily. There we go. What was that card? Great question. I didn't see it, nobody saw it, and we have no clue. No! I took 2 hits. It's all good, it's all good. I'm not going to die because of those 2 hits, surely. I tell myself as I approach the next encounter and get absolutely blasted by it. I almost did actually. I'm a professional player. See. Cavity Busters. Thank you. Okay, we have 4 shovel heads or shovels. I have no clue if they are shovel heads or shovels. Shovels, I would say. So yeah. Also, I like how I explained so many things. I didn't explain so many other things. The shovels are basically the currency that you utilize to dig out the walls, quote unquote, for free. You can do that still while paying a price. The price is life. Unavoidably, we do not want to pay life. Holy shit. Because doing so will be very bad. Take into consideration that I have no way of surviving any of that right now. I only have 2 life remaining on me, so yeah. Amazing. It was all intention. Why are bullets so fast? I don't know if it is the boss or whatever, but that was absolutely scary, man. Okay, that's this boss. A polyp or something like that. Also, 1 enemy. But yeah, let me continue anyways. Because I love how much... I said it before to some extent. The whole aspect of things of this sort are difficult to... I think I died yet again. Thank you. Thank you very much. At some point, we're going to win. I promise you, I don't die that much when I am playing by myself. Something about, I don't know, the performativeness of what I'm doing is, I have no clue, man. Give me this guy, you know? This guy is broken, basically. This guy is easy enough to play with, I guess. We should be capable of winning with this guy, man. I was saying basically that yeah, one of the many things that I believe can be done whenever you try to talk about the whole aspect of the developer can do something. I did mention that, but in a negative light of yeah, you have to sacrifice yourself for the sake of learning how to become one. Like it's your own publisher, probably that's the simplest way to talk out that. You have to give up so much of your own existence in terms of making games for the sake of also being the person who makes sure that what you are creating reaches the proper audience. That is, while on one hand, an horrible idea, it also is sadly the reality of, yeah, maybe it can work with this notion in hand. Maybe it can work if I do that effort of making sure that people get to see it through the process, the act of sharing it with the whole world actively and whatnot. That is always what can work and what I wouldn't say exactly leads to the best results, but what can be of a huge degree of success. What we like to say, I guess that's the most proper way to say it, yeah, should lead to a good enough degree of achievements that you're looking for and such. And it's quite impossible sometimes to know if that is the case or not, but at least by believing in such a thing, you can hold a degree of, once again, belief in the notion that maybe this time it goes well, maybe this time I get what I was looking for and what not, and maybe this time I finally gain what I haven't been capable of gaining in any other way, basically. And that's still a promise, nothing else. But that promise I feel like is better than nothing, I guess. So yeah, the point is, sometimes the developer has to do that extra mile of, maybe I have to try to see this thing work out by becoming my own publisher, by not exactly, I utilize the word publisher, but it's simply the whole aspect of I share what I have created with others, and that makes it become known to the rest of the world. I make it apparent to other people that I have created something great. Simply put, that is good enough in itself. I don't really have to sacrifice much more of my own self, basically, in doing the whole work of making sure that indeed it is present in the mind of other people, in the mind of the quote-unquote consumer and whatnot, I guess. What always counts creators and whatnot when it comes down to the whole aspect of, what are you creating? What you are creating, sorry, is indeed visible enough? I kill myself, literally on the first floor. I should try to actually play well, man. I beg you to have patience with me. Sorry. I didn't do it on purpose. Promise you I didn't do it on purpose. Promise you. It will be funnier if it was all actually planned to be like that, but it literally isn't. It's so sad. With this party game that I chose to play. But anyways, I was saying that yeah, the whole aspect of you can try to think about it as perhaps the quote-unquote issue was that the person who created the game didn't share it enough times. Maybe in terms of, it sounds like a plausible enough explanation. It doesn't really work as one, but it sounds like one. It could be the case, could entirely be the case that something like that happened. But it doesn't really answer many other questions, like why did it actually happen though? Like, but many other people don't really have to go out of their way to share what they created and whatnot. Why does this person have to? Why does this one individual actually have to do all of that? Why does this one creator have to put so much more in? And I don't know, you can make, what's the whole aspect of consciousness? You can make many logical conscious proclamations for why something subconsciously in the end didn't really work, without you truly having any actually correct explanation for why things got to be the way in which they are. You just create a logical conscious analysis for what still remains an unconscious factor, no matter how hard we try to explain it and whatnot. And that is, in that sense, yeah, sadly it is to some degree disheartening, because in the end the person has to contend with the whole aspect of there is still no real explanation for what this didn't work. I can just assume that this is possibly one way to think about it, but doesn't really mean that it is correct. Doesn't really mean that this is the way in which I should be seeing it, in which I should be regarding my failure or anything like that. And that makes the whole process even harder. But that is the experience, I guess. That is the average experience of anyone who tries to read something of this sort. That whenever you try to analyze what made it be like that, you still encounter so many impossible to answer questions of that very same sort and such. So many other impossible to actually utilize in a proper manner, highlight so many impossible to truly proclaim as correct notions and ideas about why this thing was the way in which it was or wasn't in the way in which you wanted it to be and such. But that's part of the whole process, I guess. Just to try to have some degree of fun while doing that, I guess. That even if that happens, it's fine for it to happen in itself, basically. Also, anything that I want to give up. This thing, I guess. This thing isn't really useful. Targeted or accelerated HP and boss skills and starting a new level. Amazing. What a great boon. Okay, give me a second, yeah. Give me another tiny break. I don't even know how much time passed since the last one, but yeah, give me a second. Thank you very much. Here. I hope at this point my only goal is actually to win one run. I wasn't expecting to be incapable of doing that. I absolutely wasn't. I promise you I wasn't looking. I am not trying to lose. It's not something that is happening because I am farming content, as they will say, it just happens somehow. But yeah, before I actually leave, let me increase the music a little bit more. 40, yeah, 40 is good. We were on 30, now we are on 40. There you are. Yes. See you in a bit, I guess. Yeah. I am back. Today, we're gonna win this run. I hope so. I don't really know. Have to believe. Somehow it truly has happened that we haven't won any so far. So, who knows? Who knows? Maybe this is gonna be it, perhaps? For sure. There won't be many more runs that aren't won. Besides this one, for sure. But yeah, anyways, I don't know. I think everything that I have been saying so far has a lot to do with the whole concept of yeah, you are your own brand and whatnot, basically. You know, the whole aspect of yeah, you have to manage what other people get to see about yourself and whatnot. That's the most basic way to explain it, basically. The idea of yeah, you're not making sure that many more people get to see what you're creating and whatnot. That's because your brand isn't being managed properly enough. You're just, but by saying that it is necessary to make sure that others get to see that, you're just feeding onto that same habit that has become so normalized nowadays of everyone is for themselves or by themselves having to subsist in this hyper-competitive world in which the normal thing is to literally have that happen and to literally have that occur to such a degree that everyone is struggling to actually make anything which is in itself quote-unquote good, simply because everyone is trying once again to create something of that sort in which your brand finally works and your brand finally gets a proper enough highlight, whatnot. And that is kinda impossible to actually solve properly, you know? Like, yeah, I get what you're telling me, but can I actually solve it efficiently, so to speak? Like, can I actually make that not be an issue? It feels like your personal brand and whatnot is something to be eternally working on. Also, I can accept that I, because of my own mistakes. I promise you, I am not trolling. I swear to God, I'm not trolling. I am meant to die. It just happens. Sometimes it just happens. Yeah. Is this gonna be the run? Perhaps not. At this point, I'm losing it, man. I'm absolutely losing it. How come we cannot win even one run, man? So, how many hours have we been here? 2 hours? How many? Let me see. Yeah, 2 hours and a half, and still no run won. I am surprising. I swear to God, I'm not doing it intentionally. At some point, we're going to win, actually. Trust me. Let's trust them. Swear to God. And when it finally pays off, we will all be happy because it did, and we will all rejoice in the encounter of that success, which seemed so impossible before. And we will all have what we wanted. We will all finally see the sun shine brightly in front of us. But today we shall keep on trying, we shall keep on going, because today we have not found the end of our eternal penance. Today we are still bound to the old rules, to the old proles. We are still here to try again and again until finally we can solve the puzzle that is our eternal problem. Something like that. I just hope that we can actually win. Or I finish stream. Yeah. It's going to be crazy if that doesn't happen actually. Like, how do you explain having been here for so long and not winning at all? It's kinda actually unexplainable. Yeah. Nothing to really blame there. But anyways, besides that, I guess. Oh, wait. This way. besides that, I have been perhaps the entire stream talking about the whole aspect of becoming your own brand. That was the final conclusion and whatnot. But there are many other things to it, like, yeah, how you make it work and whatnot. When shoot lightning from your origami when holding the shoot button. I see. I see. I see, actually. Okay. So it's a reference to, what is it? Star Wars. Understandable. Anyways, I was saying. And I don't know, there has been so much that also happened. I feel like one of the many portions that makes... I can give you this. I haven't identified the issue with trying to talk out so many things. And that is, so many of those things, something about the development of proper knowledge is, I feel like, the realization that so many of the previous knowledge which you held within yourself and whatnot was to some extent not entirely wrong, basically, but it was truly something that you used to believe was right. It did serve some kind of purpose, but once you finally get to realize, maybe there is something else to think out here. Maybe there is something else that I could try to focus on. Maybe there is something else that I could try to have in mind and such. Once that happens, the person gets to realize, wow, so much of what I see out there could be, quote unquote, much better, quote unquote. Not exactly being the case, but indeed being something that could improve the quality of life of a person, as long as the encounter with such realizations happened, so to speak, no? And inside of all of that, there is a huge portion of, and I don't know, I feel like unavoidably there are a lot of misconceptions that are hard to, I guess, properly dispel. You could say it like that. I can tell you why things are to some degree bad or wrong, but I don't guarantee that what I'm going to tell you is going to be the exact explanation that you're looking forward to, basically. And that's the problem. I don't have that capacity. And that's quote unquote bad to some degree. Not exactly the worst, but bad enough to make it look like it actually is bad in terms of, wow, cannot. And I don't know, I guess personally I can also add, yeah, it has to some degree to do with the whole layer of, I feel like if I try to, I could barely understand the stuff myself. Sometimes I could, some wonderful quality about the discovery of things is that you're really not that good at anything yourself. You depend a lot on what others can actually offer you and whatnot. And in all of that, there is a lot of, I feel like if I tried to do the same thing myself, perhaps we wouldn't really gain much. Not because the solving in itself was impossible, but rather because it wouldn't be done properly. And that's a problem. There is a whole notion of, but even if it isn't done properly, you should still try to do such things. But we are sort of tracing back on so much of what I already talked about so far. To some degree, it's quite bad to be so willing to say, yeah, you know what? It doesn't matter if what you're doing works or not, just do it. I am pretty sure that's bad. I am absolutely sure that's bad. Sometimes it is absolutely important if what you are doing does give you the results that you're looking for or not. If you know that what you're gonna be trying is entirely meaningless, it might as well not be great for what you're trying. There are some particular scenarios in which that is incredibly important, yes, like for example, the whole aspect of, even if the exact result that you are looking forward to, won't be guaranteed to you, you can still do a lot in order to try and achieve the other handful of results that you can see, can identify, could be beneficial besides the primary outcome, so to speak. But that doesn't make the whole area of your actions meaningless. There is a second layer of meaning existent within what you are doing, and you are not acting once again based on gaining nothing. That's bad. And no person actually does something like that besides the absolutely ignorant one, so to speak. You don't have to, but you can ignore all the possible outcomes that could come out of what you do and out of what you try and whatnot. And doing so gives a lot of consequences, simply put. And yeah, I feel like one of those issues I am trying to slowly solve is that, yeah, many things do lie within that realm of, wow, it's really so right to say anything about this thing, but I don't know. Perhaps trusting oneself, trusting what is there to say, what is there to think out so much of this world, so that those things then can finally be spoken out loud and whatnot. Because sometimes, well, literally what I said of Bending of Isaac, yes, Bending of what I saw a review, it was something along the lines of Bending of Gansion, basically. That's the best way to think about it. It's amazing, it's amazing. At least I like it. Better to say yes. I will say that it is amazing. Yeah, like that, like that. Path of Exile? No, Path of Exile today. I am mentally tired from Path of Exile. I prefer something that I can actually not exactly enjoy in terms of it's not that I don't enjoy Path of Exile. It's too mentally challenging so far. So I prefer something that I can enjoy while doing the more basic aspect of existence. While not having to think out so much about the gameplay itself. If I play Path of Exile, I cannot do anything else. I only play Path of Exile, and I am not here to only play a game. That's not my goal with being here. I don't like that. Personally, from me, yes. But it's great still. I mean, that only gives you more time to catch up with me, basically, You can do that. It gives you more possibilities to finally achieve your goal, basically. It was all for the sake of you being able of finally finding yourself in the same realm as me. Wow. In the same level as me, probably. Yes. Okay. I think. No, wait. This. What the fuck? I have so many needles over here. Amazing. Okay, I think we are done. Yeah, we can finally fight the boss of this area. Also, probably like one of the best strategies is to just spam summons over here. Like, yeah. Oh my god. Let me actually log in. I don't want to lose this run because I'm fooling around, so to speak. What is the boss? It hasn't spawned yet. Ah, amazing! Oh my god. That thing didn't hit me? Good enough, good enough, good enough. Also, I love the debuff that is killing me. I cannot gain anything whatsoever. As long as I actually get hit. Ah, my man. What a bountiful thing. What is this? Sweet tooth. Taking junk food upgrade grants junk food followers, but junk food is bad for you. I literally don't even know what junk food upgrades are, but okay. Anything else to find over here? No. Also, so I just realized, welcome pizza. I hope you're doing very well. Oh my god! I am so amazing at this game sometimes. I didn't even need to get hit. But it can happen, it can happen. What are we if not great, amazing players who sometimes fail? What is the person if not somebody who is constantly challenging the issues that they found before them at other times? Fear of falling. Enemies spew bullets when jumped on. Good. None of them matter. Okay. Very good. Now to go. No, wait. Over here. Yeah. Do you see the boss? Then choose to not go to the boss. There we go. Amazing, amazing. Yeah, it was literally just out me locking in to be capable of winning, but I don't know, too much focus on the gameplay. The gameplay is not the only thing that matters, you know? What is this thing? Monster powers. Strong jumps knock the powers loose. Whatever that means, logo. I guess the explosion when I jump, probably. I have to assume that's what it means. Oh my god! This game is quote unquote getting harder, quote unquote not getting harder. Also, wait. Don't I need to picking up this picking up upgrades decreases HP? Yeah, I need to actually heal this thing. Give me here. You. Thank you very much. There we go. Oh yeah. What a horrible upgrade. Heal. Free. Thank you. What should I get rid of? There is something. This thing that I should be getting rid of actually. It's absolutely horrible. I don't need it at all. But yeah, anyways. I don't know. Ah, yeah, I was saying. I remember what I was actually saying, sorry. The whole aspect of, I don't know, so many things that go unmentioned. Not really because they deserve to be unmentioned, but I guess rather because of the whole aspect of, I don't know if we are in a position to talk about them. It always could be dangerous to say, yeah, you know what, we are the kind of people who should be talking about those things, when indeed we are not. But I feel like to some extent the quote-unquote issue lies a lot within the aspect of maybe. It also has to do with, even if we are not, it's fine for us to do that thing still. Because in the end, there is nothing to truly try to change. Holy shit. Give me a second, actually. This was is way too serious. There we go. I don't understand why that was is so hard. Every single time, actually. It's not like I even have any particular kind of upgrade to make it always appear here. It just does so consistently enough to hinder me. It's a good. Anyways, I was saying that, yeah, I don't know, the whole aspect of many things to think out, so much stuff to actually try to quote unquote mention, but which to some extent is better to not say at all, because sadly we don't even know if we are in the right place to talk about them. And yeah, to some degree, you can always be cautious. There is no need to possess cautiousness itself whenever you talk about anything. It's true, but I don't know, is it really that useful to do like, to act like that is the case, truly? I feel like that might not really be the case. And it would be better if we just say, yeah, perhaps this is out of our range. Perhaps this is the thing that we cannot really say much about, so to speak, you know? This is the thing that remains out there, that when we try to bring forward, we understand we are not in a position to say anything about, but it's just the eternal encounter with. Perhaps there are just excuses, perhaps, who knows, no? Who knows? So it's better to say that they aren't and to accept their responsibility, that maybe silence is better or something of that sort. Simply put. Oh my god! I didn't take a hit there. I don't know how, but that can happen, I guess. Also, I have no clue why the boss has such a high, not a high in terms of, oh wow, what a high itself, but an abnormal degree of stun slash something on it bar. Okay, let me give you. The problem is if I give this guy way too many hearts, whatnot, it's going to become not too strong, simply it will have too many teeth, which I also need to survive. Yes, I will have to sacrifice one, only one, to keep the, what is it? There we go. One, to keep the possibility of respawning open, but nothing else, because otherwise I will probably die at this rate. And we don't need that to happen right now. Once again, at least right now. Oh my god! And amazing. How did I get here? What do we have? Orb. Oh my god! Orb? Really? It's literally the same upgrade that this character is based on. Like, I think I duplicated my power just now based on that orb thing. Amazing. Also, this is a parry boss. Because once again, you have the whole roll around enemies mechanic. Okay, this boss is literally based around that mechanic itself to work. But it's good enough. It's not like you can say, oh no, wow, what's a boring boss, simply because it forces you to parry. It's amazing. The challenge is quite simple actually in itself, so yeah, it is amazing. Oh my god. Let me, okay, there we go. No. But yeah, I love how I said the whole aspect of so many things to mention without mentioning them, and I continue to not say anything about them. Excuse me. I was trying to say that, yeah, I don't know, besides that happening in itself, it is still possible to see that so much of the world has so many layers to it, and I guess one of the best parts of getting to slowly process stuff, so to speak, is the encounter with, perhaps this is a working different solution to my way of seeing things. And I feel like one of the best benefits of doing that is the continuous effort in order to try to actually understand the quote-unquote general picture. The issue is always that sometimes it feels like there is no general picture to get. The world is very much what it is, and nothing else can actually be said about that in terms of this is all that we get to have, and you cannot do anything about that, and we're all condemned to live in these situations and such. And the accompanying degrees of negativity that come with all of that, basically, and whatnot, when it doesn't exactly need to like that, it seems to be what we have gotten quite accustomed to seeing without actually understanding that that's not necessarily the case always, but it is indeed what has been normalized for so long to some degree. And yeah, it is to some degree disheartening to see that there are a lot more biases than what you could expect even from yourself, but it's so much of the process modernity or post-modernity perhaps brings with itself forward so much of yeah, have you actually thought about all of these other issues that have to deal with yourself and whatnot? And it should to the degree to which the person is almost always countered by the probability, by the reality, by the possibility and whatnot of wow, I could have been thinking about myself in this one way or in this other manner, which end up being to some degree complicated to actually do, because indeed it is impossible to have every single aspect of one's own life contemplated like that. But the promise to bring that forward makes one feel like it actually can be not such a problem, so to speak, And that whole promise is always out there, it's always present, and it's always lurking in terms of today there will be no more misconceptions about how I think I'm my own person, how I pose the question of my own existence and whatnot. And that is interesting to see to some degree, because indeed that could be quite unrealistic in nature. It's unsurprisingly a good enough assertion in terms of even if there is a lot of progress to see in regards to the person and whatnot, it is impossible to say that every single day we will be changing and every single day we will be upgrading ourselves and whatnot. It sounds way too ideal of a reality to think that, yeah, indeed, you will always be upgrading yourself and you will always be changing how you work and how you behave and how you do everything else, basically. But such is the world, I guess. Such are the conditions that we have gotten accustomed to seeing. Which, yeah, in the end, ends up meaning that, and I don't know, I feel like it's funny to see that. Because there are so many other layers of change that we could access if we were actually capable of, I don't know, I cannot really find anything to quote-unquote blame in terms of, is there anything to really say, to really look to, or to look towards when it comes to the whole aspect of maybe there is something to call for the aspect of, yeah, this is what's responsible for making me be better or not. Sometimes it feels like there is not much to actually utilize for those notions. There are possible things to try to excuse oneself with, but the reality is not truly. Sadly, most of this world doesn't have anything like that. I think I actually want this. Yes, it makes every single thing bigger. Besides making me slower, so it's great. Great enough of an upgrade, basically. Okay, so far it looks good. I swear to God, I will try to win. I swear to God, I will actually try to win. And if we don't get to win, I'm going to crash out at this point, I feel like. Because we have been here for so long now. No, I let a disease go. I am amazing. Can happen, I guess. Can happen. Can entirely happen. Okay, stars. Sugar makes teeth a little more bouncy. It takes longer to suck tooth back. Understandable, I guess. And you, what do you have? Ah, this is the guy who gives you different diseases. This is absolutely horrible, but nothing to really do about that. Give me... No way! No way I can heal the... No way! No way! Wait. Give me... Wait. I cannot heal the bee? I can heal the bee. Why don't you let me heal the bee? What's wrong with you? I need to kill the bee. No. Can't happen. Can't happen. Okay. Doesn't matter. Sometimes you don't get exactly what you want. But that's to be expected. It's... At least I have more damage now. Even more than before. Not like I really needed that, but... better than nothing, I guess. Also, this is the... I don't know if it is an antibody or a virus, which one of the two it is, but it is something. And the point is, the moment in which you get to kill it, is the moment in which you get to heal a disease. Also, what does this thing do? Slime, it's everywhere. Poisonous slime, good. Take me here, take me here. E to cure that thing. There we go. Okay, here we are. No! Okay. The boss respawned, I guess. Not the boss, the room. Yes. Oh my god! A second time? How many times can rooms respawn, man? I didn't even know that. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Can you let me live? I beg you, man. Can you also stop avoiding me? Come here. There we go. Finally. What the fuck is that was? I need like a range up or something because I have no way of hitting enemies. Oh my god. Okay, there we go. The boss is open now, and anything else to actually try to go for? Yeah, here or over here. Also, thankfully enough, these enemies all have auto aim, otherwise it would be impossible for me to solve them so easily, to deal with them so easily. Now, the issue is, I have no more of these, but I can keep exploring rooms if I keep on opening them. I have enough heals and whatnot to probably be capable of doing like 5 or 6 rooms more, probably, or even more, because now over here we have 3 entirely different heals. Amazing. No! Great. I didn't die. Ah, amazing. What a video game. Oh my god. Ah, this one is good actually. Wait. Give me this, give me this. True. Once you finally get to understand the combo system, the whole game feels a lot more smoother. The issue is actually doing that, like, yeah, once you finally get to flow with the game, you understand how hard that is sometimes, how hard it is to actually be capable of simply letting your restraints go and playing without any care whatsoever for what happens. You cannot even begin to picture how hard that could be sometimes. But it is whatever. So, we have to go somewhere. The issue is me remembering where to actually go. Because there are too many pathways. The beautiful problem of this game and all the different ways which it tries to take you towards. But it's all good, I guess. Oh my god! What an enemy! What the fuck was that? What an enemy. Okay. I think, being honest, I think we can actually win, probably, even if I didn't do any more side content and I rushed just to the bosses and whatnot. At this point I should have enough stuff to be capable of surviving whatever, I think. Not that I am absolutely sure about that, but I think that that's the case. Also, there is no shop. There is no shop actually. Man, it's over. There is no shop. Man. Okay, I see. I see how things are. The question is, why do you actually care about the shop? Great question. With a shop, I can actually spend my feelings, I think they are called. And yeah, with those things, I can actually get even more stuff in each subsequent shop. So it's actually quite an important mechanic. Even if I didn't try to explain it, sorry. But yeah, it's, I don't know, the whole degree of being always hyper worried or hyper wary of perhaps if I don't make sure that I have everything ready to win, I won't win. If I don't spend every single degree of energy that I have in making sure that all the stuff is in place, we will not actually win. It's all a distraction by myself to make it look like I can actually win without truly being capable of. And I don't know, it is quite bad to think like that, but that the beard never shuts up, so you have a lot of guessing to do in order to see if that is truly the case or not, and most of the time what the wins is the voice which tells you that you truly are still unable to actually win. So you convince yourself that that might be true. Tell yourself that has to be right, that has to be the case. How can you be wrong? Don't you live with yourself in your own mind for so much? How can you not be right? Also, I think there is something broken about exploring every single room that you have already been to. That has to do with the rooms refreshing for random reasons, no? But still, refreshing nonetheless. But it doesn't matter. We still... What? Wait! This was a... Ah! This was a second extra upgrade room. I didn't realize that. Good enough. Okay, I guess we are ready for the boss, because there is nothing else to really do here. Under these conditions, particularly. So yeah. Oh my god! I believe. I have to believe, basically. Even if I don't want to. I have to believe. Otherwise... No! I wasn't believing hard enough. I was just saying that I was believing without actually doing, so the game realized I was lying. The world entirely falls on me whenever it catches on my lies, whenever it realizes that I am being a fake person, whenever it realizes that I am not being true to my word, whenever the world has the capacity to grasp on my inability to hold true to my own word. It is that it finally displays all those layers of judgment which kill me, destroy me, make me so unhappy. But it's fine. It is the condemned that I accept, that I bring forward onto myself, because I keep on lying and saying that I'm ready when I am entirely not. Okay, there we go. Shovel shot. What the fuck are you? Huh? Shovel shot. If your tooth kills an enemy, it will drop an item. Excuse me? Isn't that like entirely broken? Okay, I guess. Whatever. Point is, we have all of these shovels to take for the next floor, so... I think that I will do what I said before. I will try to rush. Because I don't know if I can actually win otherwise. What are we in? Like... Loaf 2. Factory loaf 2, yeah. We should be capable of winning. We should be. Doesn't mean that we are. My impressions on what the world actually gives me can be quite wrong, one compared to the other. But don't I accept all of that whenever I live, whenever I start on existing? Don't I become absolutely aware of the degree to which the world can give me an unavoidably different answer to the questions which I pose to it? Don't I say that that is fine whenever I go out there? Oh my god. What an absolutely intimidating enemy. That says the rams are dug out, enemies are infected, enemies gain extra HP, bullets. There are some buffs like Risen, All, Energy. I think we have seen like 2 of those. Yet none in this run so far, so. Sir. We can simply continue like this. Also, the best issue is I have no health whatsoever to actually heal myself. So that means that if we actually reach the boss, I will still not be in the best of conditions to actually fire it. I will have to probably make sure that I kill at least a handful of enemies. Okay, there will 1 more HP, 2 more HP, full HP. Mouthguard, don't grind your teeth. Protects against bullets. Amazing. What? What is this? Cape. Bats will now attack other enemies because you're like the man of the bats. Wow, so true. Makes your shotguns split. Here, is there anything that I should try to heal? Like, this thing doesn't matter, this thing doesn't matter. Yeah. I think I will do this and nothing else. Oh my god, you are so incredibly hard in an absolutely confined room. You have no clue, man. But the point is that we're almost there. We're almost there. Oh my god, this is all this is. It's all good, I guess. Yeah, it's all good. And you know what? The best thing is we are literally next to another unlock room, so why not go for it? Great, entirely ruling my life. Oh my god, it was also worth it. All of these are upgrades, are in one way or another great. That's the problem. Chance enemies, no. Make speed, no. Chance for explosions, no. Enemy bullets, no. This thing is great. No, this is dude. I literally have just 1 tooth still. Chance for enemies to drop goodies, that is great, but 1 goop for every orifice when taking damage. Drops a minor startup item. Hey, wait, this is good, no? Like, that didn't give me any HP up. No way. You are soaking with me. You are can happen. Can absolutely happen. My favorite part of betting. To lose. Not even 1 HP up? Man. Well, can happen. It's part of the fun. Sometimes you bet and you lose, sometimes you bet and you win. What a fun video game. I guess I gained enough damage ups probably to make it worth. Probably. I will not check on that. Because if I found out that even that didn't happen, I am going to absolutely crash out. What a game. What a great video game. I guess the real issue still is the desire to bet everything on randomness. In life, there is nothing to blame but oneself, because we believe that we will one day win the lottery. We believe that we will be the person who finally breaks free of the curse of betting ourselves. We will not be like everyone else and have problems with all of that. We will not be the ones who also do not win. That's not our case. That's not going to be what happens to us. We will be entirely successful. And because of that, every single time that you can, you bet, even if you know that you have lost so many times before. What's the bias? You lost before, so that has to mean that you will win this time, no? That has to mean that it is your chance to finally be capable of gaining something. Every time you lose, you are closer to winning the next one, so you have to keep on betting and betting, even if everything that you bet is lost. Even if everything that you have been betting on leads to nothing. The person is destined to lose all their belongings on betting. That's how we are. Max damage decreases when damaged. This is a horrible upgrade. Late in the run. But this is weird because we are not late in the run. So, besides that, I'm going to take this actually. I'm going to take that. Simply because we are close enough to finishing. And if that backfires, there is no one else to blame but me, so you already know what to say, I guess. Also, oh my god, yet another enemy that I have to parry. Amazing. You are amazing, Mr. Enemy. You're indeed amazing, Mr. Enemy. Oh my god, it insta-died because I got to hit all the parry stuff in that one incredibly huge wave. Necessarily huge wave, I guess. Good enough. Okay. That's that, and here what do we have? Nothing. Everything is dug out. Amazing. More exploration, yeah. Favorite part of this game. Absolutely unnecessary exploration for the sake of it. Also, I took like 2 hits already, I think, so probably very close to losing most of the damage that I have gained so far. Can happen. Also, a good question would be, taking this kind of damage also decreases my max damage? It would be amazing, you know? Simply because I want to play. Normally I get condemned to lose damage and I get condemned to lose basophobia. What's the name of this thing? Let me see. Brittle. Okay. Also, this is a room in which you have to choose an upgrade. I have no clue about which one of them works best. Players. I guess. No, wait, what? No, I get all of them for free. Amazing. Okay, balanced, absolutely balanced. Ay, ay, ay. What a room. Who could have thought about that? What an absolutely beautiful room. Okay, then that means that this run is won. Trust in me. I just have to actually be capable of not dying, I don't know, in the next 2 or 3 rooms. But yeah. We can do it, we can do it, we can do it. Here comes the boss. No, wait! There is an upgrade here. What? Was it really necessary? Not really, but you know, sometimes you also give in to betting or something like that. Even if you know that you shouldn't. Oh my god. I almost killed myself there. I'm amazing. What the fuck is this was? Why does it have... Ah, I remember now. It said that this was upgrading itself or something like that. I remember having seen that, like... Yeah, makes sense. That makes the entire was far more difficult to deal with, but it's fun, I guess. Part of the fun. Playing against something that seems so utterly unkillable, basically. Oh my god. Can I not die? Can you not kill me? For the love of God, can you not kill me? What are all of these bullets? What the fuck? How can you shoot that much, man? How does it seem acceptable for you to shoot that much to begin with? Like, what? Also, I have to accept, yeah, I am having an incredible degree of difficulty in actually continuing to shoot while avoiding all the attacks. It's way too many mechanics for me. I'm going to die just because of that. I'm going to continue. Yes, indeed continue. I'm not going to give up now. Not going to give up now. Even if I have lost probably so much damage simply for having died so much, which is deserved to some degree. Oh my god. Oh my god, such an unkillable boss. Oh my god. Oh my god. What the fuck is this? Why is this game so hard out of nowhere? Wasn't it easier before? Oh my god. Please be the final boss or something. Don't have me fight even more stuff. I beg you. I beg you with all my life. Okay, let me lock the fucking... Otherwise I'm going to die. Then it tells me. It's... What a great game to play. A relaxing game. Above everything else. For sure. There we go, you died, you didn't die, you still have one more face. You are amazing. You're my hero. There we go, you died. You weren't even the final enemy. Oh my god. How much HP is going the final boss to have? Oh. Shouldn't matter, I guess. Gonna be... Once per level, the first enemy type you touch is removed from the entire run. Understandable. So, which one will I touch? Do I have to touch you like that? What? How the fuck do I touch you? How the fuck do I touch an enemy? Explanation of the touching enemy mechanic? Like that? No, right? Yeah. Doesn't seem to be the case, so... Only God knows, I guess. Also, this is like the first boss that you encounter. Oh my god. An antibody. Amazing. An antibody which didn't heal anything. Good. What a great encounter. Why is everything so cool? Okay, there we go. Okay. Now, finally, final boss. Is it final boss? Wait. In which area are we? No, wait, no. Ortho 1. No, okay, it's Ortho 2, which is the final boss. So, we still have one more boss. So, this is the second to last. After that, we are afraid from this flesh person or something like that. Player whoop is refilled. Give me that, just for the sake of letting me heal, give me that actually. An absolutely beautiful upgrade actually. Okay, yes. What a fucking boss. Understandable mechanics. Okay, it's not really that hard compared to the... Holy shit, I was speaking way too soon. Holy fucking moly. What is this level of bullet hell? I am minimally good at it. I am not this great to be capable of evading everything. What are you talking about, man? You are crazy if you think I can survive this. And even more with the garbage that is like, yeah, you have a damage up. But every single time you take damage, you lose that damage up. Even further. So that's garbage for me. My god. We can win anyways, we can win. I tell myself as I see the fucking boss transform. My god, it's a divider? No way. No way. What did he even mean by that? No. This game is torture. I shouldn't have played hard mode at all. Ah, okay, one died. One less. We have it. We're almost there. Fuck! Took damage. Also matter. Okay, there we go. Oh, let me save my soul. Skip intro. Ortho 2. Okay, this is it. This is the end of the run. Quote unquote. The end. I still have to survive the final boss. Which isn't guaranteed to happen, so. Yeah. Yeah. I can see it. Failing. Everyone is sick. Your max HP can't increase. I love getting fucking mercury poisoning. And wait, does it have a heal or... It does have a heal. Give me the fucking heal for mercury poisoning before I die. You don't understand how hard are the enemies right now. You are not even close to understanding that notion, man. Why is everything so difficult? You die. There we go. Great. Give me... Yes. I didn't mean to do that, but... If you're going to fucking force me, thank you. No more mercury poisoning. Great enough time to kill the second boss. Secondary boss, yeah. I can absolutely do this. For sure, this is easier than the final boss. For sure. What is this? What the fuck is that? My god. What an aberrant view. Okay, it died. Somehow it died. Great enough. We can do it. I don't have heals, enough heals for the final battle. Does it mean that I will die? Probably. Will I worry about that? Probably. I don't think we have max HP to go and fight the final boss. The walls are for seats, jumps, attack. Player group is refilled. You know what? What about giving me that? Let me just have that before actually encountering the boss. Otherwise, I'm going to kill myself. And by mistake. Okay, there we go. I have it. I have it. Now. Everything should be set up in order to win. Okay, here we are. Come here, fucking... What are you? I don't remember what you are. But I know that this boss has like 4 or 5 different faces, so that's certainly going to be fun. Does it actually have that many faces? I think no, right? This one particularly no. I think it was literally the previous one that had all of those faces, unnecessarily. But this one is far more forgiving, so to speak. I would hit it twice. I think also this was didn't get changed, something tells me. Oh my god. Please stop losing life, brother. Focus on surviving. No. Okay. I can do it. Can I? No, I can't. I can. We're so back, it's so over. Get me here. No, okay, yes, it has multiple faces. I wasn't wrong. Ah. No! I'm going to cry to my own room, bro. It has gone for way too long. It doesn't matter at this point if I don't win. It's all good. That's what happens when you play hard mode. Understandable, yes. So yes, no more torture for today. Free me from this prison, bro. We had everything. We had enough conversation. Besides the Emperor, so yeah, it was good enough. What a sad, what a sad thing. No way. But well, it was great enough, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, thank you for everything. The point was, I got to showcase this game. So yeah, I'm happy about that. Probably tomorrow I will try to get this thing working. I will try to make this a more consistent game, taking into consideration that yeah, it's not something that gets punished, so to speak. So yes, we shall do something along those lines. It's amazing. I did love it, and I think that yeah, as I have been always talking about when I say that playing Path of Exile is something entirely different, these kind of games flow far more naturally than something that requires far more attention. So yeah, thank you. We will see what happens next time anyways. But yeah, as always. Now for real, thanks for everything, for the attention, for the time, for the interest, for the patience, for all of it. Have a wonderful day, night, rest of your life. See you next time, and even if we don't get to see ourselves next time, as always, remember to take care, be responsible, hydrate, all of that stuff. And yes, have a great one. Thanks. Bye bye.